Hi, Craig.
Hi, Craig. Yeah,
Howdy.
he is now recording. All right.
Yeah.
It's
We're
always
in.
crazy how these episodes start. We're always talking to Craig. We're like, "Hi, Craig." Anyway,
Yeah, it's like
um,
the party doesn't start till Craig walks in.
mhm. Recap. Last session. Um, we met Elise. Um, after a very a very intense early morning wake up call by Sister Tail. Cal and the others were taken to the necromancers, where it turns out that one of Tinnitus's party had been attacked and needed healing, as well as uh, was kind of slipping into a coma and unable to report on her attacker. At the same time, a member of a pagan's group, Cleric Beliala, who had a little bit of a connection with Cal, had gone missing. Um, as the two groups of necromancers kind of got at each other's throats, the party was asked to step in and mediate. Originally, Cal was just brought to heal the victim as well as take Tinnitus's side, but once it became more of a formal investigation, everybody got in the mix there. There was some interesting facts that came up at this time. Pagan tried to essentially bribe Cal into leaving Tinnitus's temple and joining hers as one of her lieutenants. Um, she uh, also claimed that she had nothing to hide and was not involved in this in any way, and so Cal was free to investigate. Um, at the same time, um, the others talked to some of the other people and investigated some additional facts. Um, Metal went upstairs to investigate people's rooms and talk to Pagan's two remaining necromancers, who were actually originally Tinnitus's necromancers, and therefore may or may not have split loyalties. Kind of hard to know. And also discovered Beliala's room, seemingly undisturbed, but also her blood in Cleric and Harkin's room, with him professing innocence to it being there. Um, Metal also found some dirty pictures of necromancers that Fish then stole. Um, it turned out later that and Harkin had been having a secret meeting at the time of Beliala's disappearance and the attack on Cleric Oss to exchange information, secret information about Pagan to Tinnitus. It seems that a lot of necromancer politics are uh, at work here, something and Harkin refers to as shadow games, because it tends to be very under the surface rather than explicit fighting. But with uh, Fish interviewing Tinnitus and insulting him, getting the runaround, finding out that he may have some things to hide. Um, the necromancers and the party agreed that for safety and for seeming unity, they would relocate to the hotels set aside for this conference with this strange cult leader that we know to be Elise, Cal's sister. It seems like Elise will be making a speech to the general public about her religion, and kind of getting the word out there. Afterwards, there will be a private um, sort of religious meeting between the necromantic delegations to try to convince each other that you're not heretics, they're the heretics, and get them on your side. At which point, it might come to another round of assassinations. But when Cal and the party got to Elise's hotel, joined by Jamal and Sarah, both wearing their uh, extra necromancer robes. They came into the hotel and had a very quick meeting with Elise before Cal had a private meeting where she rejoined her sister and hugged and expressed affection for each other. But Elise was perhaps not the best. Um, but that's fine. That's okay. Um, as the um as the as Cal left this meeting and Elise came out into the hallway, about to introduce the others, um, introduce the others and Cal to her children. Sarah, who was hanging out outside, came up and saw the two veiled women and went, "You look the same, huh? What are you, sisters?" And that is where we ended last session. And so that is where we will come back in. I mean, like, the whole walk and everything, kind of like you gotta stick up your ass. Must be a necro thing.
Hal's gonna look at Elise, and then she's gonna turn to Sarah, and she's gonna tilt her head, and she's going to say, "No, she's from another temple. There was a woman with a similar name at my temple. She was a troublemaker, but she's been dead for 20 years now. And I would like to roll, uh, probably intimidation, uh,
I'd say
with a help
intimidation
action from
or
Elise."
deception, whichever you'd prefer. Yes. I
Uh,
will
I'll
say
take I'll take deception then because that's higher. But yeah, I would like help action from Elise, who I feel
it
like would back me up.
if it's deception, it's flat out like I'm lying to you, and it's if Sarah believes you. While intimidation
Okay.
is like I'm telling you what the official line is, right? Which
Yes, that's where I'm going for. So then yes, I will
maybe
do
it
intimidation.
intimidates Sarah, but it also like gives her information. So theoretically, the DC for that is lower.
Yeah, and Jamal is still here.
Yes, Jamal is still here. You
Yeah,
also
okay.
see that Elise has like gathered a little bit of magic in her hands and like is looking out of you out of the corner of her eye like she's about to kill Sarah.
At that shake of the head.
just like are we no? Okay. All right.
I'd
It's
like
trouble.
to. I'd like Fish to notice that she might be doing that.
Sure.
May I roll? 19.
19.
Yeah.
And my
Right.
intimidation is 14.
With the help action?
Yes.
Fish notices, even though she is trying to kind of like body block anybody but Cal from seeing it, Fish notices that Elise is kind of like readying necromantic weapons, essentially.
I'll tell you how they notice that. It's through the Eldritch Sight.
Yeah, you see magic kind of channeling from Elise's kind of core into her hands in preparation. All right. Uh, as you say this to Sarah, she
They
looks
step
at
in front of
you.
Sarah.
Oh, okay. Kind of stepping in front of Sarah a little bit, blocking her just in a tiny amount. Um,
Mm-hmm.
Sarah looks at um, looks at you, looks at Elise, and then goes, "Yeah, I guess just all necromancers look the same. Ain't that right,
Something
babes?"
like that.
They sure do.
Now I would like to roll insight on Jamal.
Yeah, go for it.
Something she tries to avoid doing.
Mm-hmm.
Eh, my dice are. I'm getting like alley dice. Oh, wonderful. That was my reward for alley dice. That was a nat 1, but it's a +6, so it's 7.
Um, uh, you see Jamal kind of has his eyes narrowed and is like flicking back and forth a little bit between you and Elise. Um, you think maybe he might be a little suspicious, or maybe he's kind of like piecing things together, but he seems to be kind of keeping his own counsel for now.
All right, seems good.
What everybody else would do, what everybody else would see if they did insight on Jamal is him going, "What is happening? What's what's going on here? What are they talking about?"
Good.
Because he rolled very low on his insight to put together what the fuck what was happening. Um, um, yes, that that happens, and Sarah is now like she kind of gets what you're putting down. Um, it she kind of taps Fish on the shoulder to just like move him out of the way, and goes up to Elise and is like, "So you're the hot lady in charge, yeah?" "Yes." "You mind if I ask your people some stuff about some things?" She looks over to Cal and says, "And she's with you?"
She is a work acquaintance who is friends with the other investigators. I did not get to really interact with her very much on that mission.
Oh no, these two barely know each other. Frankly, it's really just through me and Metal. Uh, really, Miss Other Release. Sarah and I, we're just gonna go and talk to other necromancers. Probably not you, and you don't have to worry about us. We're no threat. We've got our robes on. We're going to be undercover necromancers ourselves, aren't we, Sarah?
Yeah, just figuring out some shit, and we like, we blend in. You absolutely don't blend in. You're wearing like black robes, and that's not the color scheme here. But whatever. um, um, You see a little bit of consideration, I think, on Elise's face before she says, you know, generally speaking, people who aren't going to do anything don't need to spend so much time and energy telling people that they're not going to do anything. Still,
I can vouch for them if that helps. I I give you my word that they are trustworthy people and they won't
yeah,
mess that
super
much
trustworthy.
up. Yeah.
Absolutely not mess up things that don't need to be messed up, maybe mess up things that do need to mess up. That's how we go.
Okay, well,
We are taking a subtle approach today.
Yep.
absolutely.
Subtle is my middle name and also my second middle name.
Does Sarah have food on her robes yet?
She does not. It will probably be in the not too distant future. She hasn't had the opportunity to steal a snack from anyone.
She had a hot dog.
Oh yeah, she did have a hot dog after the robes were on. Yes, there's absolutely mustard on her
Oh
robe.
my god. Hal gets
Okay,
a handkerchief out, shoves it in her chest, and he goes, clean yourself up.
Jeez, I barely know her, right? Right? Anyway, yeah, let's go.
No one's gonna think you're a necromancer with mustard on your robes.
Necromancers also eat mustard, I assume.
I don't even. It's like a grain, isn't it?
Yeah, it's
Fish,
like a flower thing.
Fish passes Kekino to Sarah to like lick the mustard off the robe.
Oh, thanks, baby boy. Yes.
All right, but it
So
probably
yeah,
is best.
we just wanted to, we just wanted to ask some questions. Um, okay. Um, John, dear, would you mind escorting them and allowing them to ask their questions? John Denzel is like, of course, Reverend Mother. This way. And
Fish, pass. So after Kekino's done with the mustard, Fish passes him off to Cal to be like, "Hey, listen, we're pretty recognizable when we're carrying around a seal. So you take him. Don't let anything happen to him."
Of
we're playing
course.
Pass the Kekano.
Also, Cal did fully flinch when um Denzel said Reverend Mother, and is hoping no one caught that or paid attention to it.
Did my bark of a laugh not come through? Because that was Fish's
Oh,
reaction.
I heard it. Oh, it was in canon for Fish? Yeah.
Yes,
Cal was like,
that was Fish.
I'll deal with that later. Just takes Kekano, like, right? Yep, all right, please get out of my sight. Doesn't
Also,
say anything, but it's just like, okay.
I can be Kekanophone. That's also important.
Yes, that's true.
Trying to avoid Denzel, Fish puts not that like doesn't touch Sarah, but like puts their arm out as if they're gonna like start hurting her, and goes, "All right, well, so I was thinking that we would say that we're from like the Temple Aquatic. What kind of fake name do you want to have? Because I'm good at coming up with them, but they're leaving."
John, you can see is kind of like running behind you, running behind them as they go down the hall. The rest of you,
Yeah,
Elise just kind
Calvin checks if Jamal is still coming with her, because I think she's like, someone with a brain cell might want to chaperone those folks, but I also
of,
don't want
you
to
didn't
torture Jamal.
you didn't give Jamal explicit
Mhm.
instructions to, so he's looking kind of confused at the three of them now walking off, but does seem like he's going to be following you.
Yeah.
Um, he Elise turns and starts walking down the hall, seemingly completely vested in the assumption that you're going to follow her.
Yep, Cal follows.
As you head down the hall a little bit, she stops at a door in the hotel, exactly like all the other ones you've passed, and she actually knocks very lightly before pushing her way in. And as you follow her into the room, you hear her um, laughter and squeals and a little bit of shushing, and very quietly, um, well, not quietly, what children think are quiet, a very screechy "Mom!" before she steps clear of the door. You see Elise standing in front of what seems like two minders, babysitters, something
Mm-hmm.
like that. They don't necessarily seem magical, but they are dressed the same as the rest of the cultists, so maybe they are, maybe they're mortal. You know that, unfortunately, as much as you dislike it, your research has shown that Elise also runs a mortal cult, and that a number of her followers are mortal and unaware of the magical implications of what she teaches. And then these two young women, these babysitters, one is holding a squirming and squealing little boy who is dressed entirely in white, that is just the base color is probably actually pink now, just because of the amount of marker that is on his clothes. Um, as he wiggles back and forth, and he's got big splotches of green and orange and red and blue, as he clearly has been playing with the art supplies. You can also see a corner of this pristine hotel room has a lot of drawings on the walls. Um, he is a little uh, uh, black-haired, squirmy boy, standing next to the minder is a perfect little lady, like an Elise in miniature. Um, but I think for Cal, you see that while there is certainly an energy and a focus you see in this little girl that reminds you a lot of Elise. You also see kind of like a strong stubbornness and like adventurous spirit that maybe most recently reminds you of May. Um, and then last in line, and she appears to be about 5 years old. And last in line is a young boy holding himself rigidly at attention, with all of his focus seeming to be focusing on the seriousness of this event. A little miniature adult, or want to be adult. Um, Slightly darker than with his siblings, and also with black hair that has been smoothed down uh, with enough product to be like a hard shell of hair, and still has like a cowlick that will not go down, and as Elise sort of uh, floats in and waves at the two youngest. She big lick of her palm and tries to smooth down the cowlick of the oldest, and it instantly flings back up again. And she does it like twice more as she turns around and shows them all to you and
I think
says,
just before like Elise speaks, so just kind of like opening the door, Cal gets very overwhelmed, and she turns to Jamal and is like, Jamal, could you actually go and interview some of the members of Mrs. Shepherd's sect for me, please?
Yeah, of course. Um, do you want me to keep an eye on the other two as well?
If you could, that would be
I'll
appreciated.
I'll try to
Thank you.
find them. Yeah. Okay. Um, and he turns around and walks out.
And
I
when
think
he leaves, oh, okay, go
Cal and
ahead.
it's just
I was
Cal
gonna
and I.
say Metal is gonna be like lean close and be like, Collisionist. Wait, cleric.
It's it's okay around her.
Okay.
Just don't make a habit of it.
Okay. Would you like me to leave? Is it okay that I'm here?
No, I'd like you to stay.
And her grip on Kakano gets real tight, and she finds Elise. She finds Metal's
I
hand.
I think she's like, okay, okay, we got this. Let's go.
And you hear Kekano very softly go, "Oh, that's nice. So
A
you're crushing me."
little looser, a little looser.
A little
Sorry,
looser,
sorry.
just a little bit.
And then Elise says something.
Um, as Elise turns around, she says, "C- Cleric Denier and Detective Vaunt, I would like to introduce you to some of my family. These are my assistants. This is Kitty and Lee." And the two women who you kind of realize, you know, mortal ages are hard, but metal is here. I think both of you realize like somewhere between like 17 and early 20s, like very much young women are these like assistants and minders. um and Kitty, the younger one, holding a squirming baby cow baby cowboy, um is it gives a shy little smile and a nod, while Lee, who's maybe a year or two older, looks very proud and is also like shooting an eye towards the kids to make sure they're behaving in this moment. And I'd also like to introduce you to my children here. This is my oldest, Knox. Hello. It is nice to meet you. My name is Knox Shepherd. If there is anything you need from me or my family, please let me know. He's the little man of the house. And then we have my middle child, Elise Jr. Mom! I'm sorry, dear. I've told you a million times I want to go by Ellie. Yes, this is Ellie. She is 5. Yes, she's 5. And my youngest, this is little Cal. Um, and the small baby boy wiggling goes, Cal, and is like air swimming to try to get to his mom, and um, Kitty hands him over, um, f- so that Elise is now carrying her baby boy, who calms pretty instantly and just kind of like tucks into um, her shoulder. Um, Kids, Kitty, Lee, I want to introduce you to um, Detective Vaughn, and um, this is
Metal
your
waves.
this is your aunt, um, my sister, um, Caligulus.
Hello.
Um, Knox and Ellie look at each other, and then Knox very stiffly walks forward and holds out a hand for you to shake.
Hal shifts Kakano to metal and takes her nephew's hand.
You'd see that his eyes are also like following Kekino moving from arm to arm,
Yeah.
and gives you a very serious small child handshake. Um, and then as he steps back, Ellie takes you from the side in a pretty like a pretty like uh, picture perfect rugby tackle of just like the shoulder directly into the side of the knee. I want you to make a dexterity saving
Uh
throw.
huh. God, I keep getting tackled by my family. That's a 12.
Okay,
She is a
uh,
child.
this is a child. That is correct. Yes, it's a big burst from a direction you don't expect, but you manage to just stagger a half step out and take it without falling over, as she clings entirely to one leg and then looks up at you through the cloth and goes, "Mom told us so much about you." She said you were really small though, like me, and you're not small at all.
No, I haven't been small for a very long time. It's nice to meet you.
Mom, am I gonna be tall like her? Probably, dear. Kay.
Cal
She
looks at
is,
her like 4 inches.
yes. They are hidden right now from the baby children, but yes. Um, uh, Elise just says, "Now, dear, let's give your aunt some space. She doesn't like a lot of touching." Oh, okay. She pulls off. There's kind of like a ripping sound as you realize that both her hands and face are very sticky and were
Oh
against
no.
your robe. Um, and as um, Elise starts just telling you about her kids, a lot of
I will say, Cal does go like, and this is Kekano.
yes, everyone. Um, this is a seal who um Kitty and Lee are okay. This is a magic seal that can talk, I believe. Um Yes. My name is Kekino, and you are almost as small as I am, and that's funny. And I really like you, and I like your art, and you smell good from the candy on your face, and yeah, I'm Kekino. It's nice to meet you. Um, Ellie is like, "Yay, Kekino!" Cal is like squirming, and goes, "Animal!" Reaching for him. Nox is silent but wide-eyed, like there is nothing in the world he would like more now than to pick up Kekino and dance across the room. Um, uh, as Kekino is put down and starts to play with them a little bit, he starts sliding around, and Ellie runs around to chase him. And after a moment, Nox joins in too. He shows them his ability to change colors a little bit, which they really enjoy, but does inspire Ellie to copy her brother. And when Kekino goes, "Look at this," and turns his paws white, Ellie goes, "Ooh," and grabs a red marker and starts scribbling on her hands and be like, "I can make my hands red." Um, lot of chaos, but you see your sister looking at them very fondly, and in a quiet voice, as the two minders kind of uh, step away to keep an eye on this chaos, she just tells you, um, you know, oh, Ellie has uh, learned her entire alphabet and is starting on some math. She's very smart. Nox has shown a lot of magical talent in sort of the technical side. You know what you really excelled at. I think he kind of takes after you that way. And Cal is still in her arms and is kind of like wiggling towards you. And she goes, "Oh, do you wanna hold him?"
Nope. No, thank you. I barely avoid dropping Kekino.
Okay, well, let me know if you want to. He is very okay. Well, right now he's very stinky. Lee, yes, yeah. Nope. Here you go. Yeah, no, the it's still it's still intermittent. I know. No, we'll get there. Potty training, we'll get there, but not yet. Yes, the other room, please. Okay. Well, now that you've met my little group, you were saying something about the meeting today that you were going to attend as well. Um, I can't imagine it's for my safety. Is there something else I should know about?
Sorry, what would I do? I know the context of this?
The context is just that you were like, yeah, they're wearing their necromancer robes so they can go to the talk and
Ah,
blend in. And she's like, oh, that's great. Also, why?
So remember the conversation we were having an hour and a half ago that you were incredibly bored by, where I explained to you that Sister Ross was almost murdered?
I do. That wasn't here. Oh, you assume, Pagan is going to be here, Tinnitus will be here. Maybe they try to murder each other while they're here.
Or you, or there is a prevailing theory
Oh,
that Harkin and I share that there is a third party involved, a assumed dead necromancer who motives we cannot guess at. She was potentially following me. She and Miss Longfisher have a sort of cat and mouse chase going on right now. It's not very safe. Which is
okay.
why
and I think this doesn't have to be established because it's in your inventory, but maybe Cal did ask and just made sure Mads that Metal brought the mimic gum in her purse.
Oh yeah, I do have
Yes.
it.
I think it's fine because it's in your inventory, so that means it gets
I
transferred
have
to
a
every person pocket.
Yes.
yeah. I have
Yeah.
bags.
So she turns to Model and she goes,
Can I have the stick of the gum?
Oh sure. And she hands one over. How do you just
Yeah.
need one?
Hopefully. Don't use this until you're about to talk, or if you're talking to any, are you talking in earshot of pagan or anyone from our temple, but this will change your voice. It'll help you from being recognized.
Oh. Oh. I thought you were saying that my breath was a little well. Um. Okay. Um. You have extras? Can I try it or um?
You can just pick, I mean, it won't be random. You can choose what voice. Pick someone no one knows, one of your hopefully paid young women helpers, or your mother-in-law, something like that.
Oh. eh, Mother-in-law's long gone. I think I remember her voice. Um. She just kind of like takes a stick and kind of like tears it in half with like an eyebrow, with like just kind of like a looking at you two, like, is this okay? Stop me if it's not okay. Okay, you're not stopping me.
I think the
Um,
two of them are like, we have no fucking clue. We haven't touched this shit. We
and
were saving it for fish, and then we forgot about it.
then pops the stick in their mouth, and in her mouth, and goes, "So I just think of somebody and it works.
Maybe
Oh
pick a
God,
better
that's
voice.
awful. Oh my God. Okay. Um, this works a little better. Or this. Can I not get rid of the chewing sound?
No, that is sort of the flaw. He's not
That's
a
kind of
perfect inventor.
Blech. No, absolutely not. I can't be chewing gum during a big presentation. Sorry, Kelly.
You can't be using your voice in a room of people who want to kill you.
Well, maybe she's good at doing voices. Have you ever just tried doing like a voice? Maybe like a little accent or something?
She is doing an accent. I don't think it's enough.
Oh.
Hello, governor.
No, that does laugh.
Metal's like, that's not terrible. You could just be like, "Hi, I'm a necromancer," and whatever it is that you're going to talk about.
It's just it's so rude, to chew gum. Yeah, I'll just I'll play up the accent a little bit. Maybe just like, hello, people who are come to see me. This is that working?
I just want you to know, Tail said. I just want you to know, Tail said, that if you die, it is your own responsibility.
Oh, well, that makes sense, and is also something she would say. I am excited to see her. Do you know if she's coming to the talk?
She is.
Oh, excellent.
And Cal does take the half stick of gum away, being like, fucking wasteful.
Um, I if you hadn't have said that, I would have just had her put it in her pocket for later. But she's like, oh, um, Sister Tail is going to be so mad, but that's
Mad
okay.
in what way? Mad in a way I know about?
Well, uh, she loves us and is very supportive, but she hasn't always been enthusiastic about me, kind of doing my own thing,
Mhm.
maybe asking some questions that people don't want asked, and maybe founding my own religion that they think is heresy. see.
I mean, she does know that part already.
Yeah, but there's knowing and there's knowing. You
Yes,
know?
no, I feel like I'm also going to be having a bit of difficulty stomaching the talk, but I'm going to try my best.
Well, well, I know that you'll enjoy it. There's a lot of interesting things in there that I think you're gonna really get. Especially the technical talk after the mortals leave. Um,
Oh, the mortals are going to be here as well.
well, I would assume so. I mean, I sent out the flyers. I put up the
Oh,
posters.
all right.
There's been, after you warned me to cancel and I had to reschedule, there was some people in the Society for Better Landlords, some local
Yeah,
organization.
Cal looks at Matt or at Metal.
They were hosting my talk originally. They helped me rearrange some flyers and things in their offices to bring more people in. Since you told me to cancel my other talk.
It's wait, the one that she had planned with them got canceled.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Cal had that canceled.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
okay. That's right, because the flyer was at the party, right?
Hmm.
Metal's like, you know what? Honestly, it's for the best that one got canceled. So
Oh, is your friend is very cryptic. Is there a reason?
Metal, I will not speak for you.
oh, well, no, I'm just saying, I've grown up in the society. They're not very nice, so that's all.
Okay, well, um, that sounds like a whole thing with you, and that's great. I hope you also enjoy the talk, and maybe afterwards we can discuss maybe learning a little bit more about this faith if you're interested in joining. We do encourage young women, especially. It's a very female-led space. And yes, I think you'd be a great addition to our church. We
Can
are
I
looking to
say,
open it. Of course.
Metal does she doesn't have any context for what this is about.
Nope.
I can't.
Nope.
Okay, I was like, I don't remember if we knew that or not. I think probably out of respect for Cal and being polite because it's like, oh my god, it's Cal's sister or whatever. She's like, oh yeah, it sounds like, yeah, super interesting. Wow,
And
I'm
if
sure I'd love. She's gonna look at Cal and be like, I'm sure I'd love to talk about it.
yeah,
Maybe
Cal's
another
shaking her
time.
head.
Maybe later, or maybe next time that we get to a while from now. But yeah, I'm sure it'll be cool.
Well, there's we're experiencing a lot of growth right now. A lot of the faithful coming to us, always expanding. We're opening sort of a ministry here in Canada, or at least we're looking to within the next couple of years. And so, you wouldn't necessarily have to relocate. There's a lot of growth opportunity here. We may be opening a small chapel nearby. And yeah, it would just be great to talk to you about some of the nuances of our religion. By the way, have you ever considered children? You've got
Oh,
a really nice face. It just shows wonderful genes, and
Oh, I'm 20. So,
well, it's never too late or early.
At least.
Yes,
not with my friends.
I'm kind of doing something here. I think this is.
No, no, you're not.
Well,
We're
I
gonna
mean,
change it.
I am. I mean, well,
Metal.
all right. Tabled, tabled for now. I'll talk to you later.
tabled for sure. Yeah, for sure. Just like,
Sorry, she's a lot.
Metal's like,
Techno, look at what
it's your
I can
sister.
do. Um, You hear Ellie playing with Kekino, and when you look over, she has fully summoned an orb of light into her hands that she is like tossing out, and Kekino is fetching back for her. And Nox is like being the other party, playing monkey in the middle with Kekino.
Cal's gonna be like, did you ever have them learning any elemental magic, or did they just go straight to necromancy like I did?
It's interesting, actually. I taught little Noxie when he was little. He was sort of, he was my first, so he's a little bit of the experiment. Um, and he showed a little bit of affinity for fire, especially, um, and a little bit of wind. But after a while, I think once Ellie came along, he just sort of switched over. I think he really looks up to me. I think maybe he wanted to copy me a little bit. Certainly he has other talents, but it seems like necromancy is kind of where his skills lie, at least for right now. You know, and
Right.
Ellie, I never taught at all. Just there was a time, she was Lee. When did Mary leave us? Yes, Ellie was like 14 months. No, 14 sounds right. About 14 months. One of our old caretakers cast a spell, entirely blinded her for 3 days. Just little baby, just open up straight into the light. Wild magic
But
to
a
be
Happens
honest,
to the best
year?
of us.
may have put a little too much juice into that one. Um, for what I
Yes,
was making her, but
maybe.
yeah.
Perhaps.
Cal is showing the right balance so far. Not kind of too strong too early, but some of the fundamentals.
Excellent. Metal is a elemental. She grew up in a sorcerer family. When Metal, when did you start showing magic aptitude?
Um,
I
was it
think
when she was little?
normal.
And then she
I
started
think
learning though.
Yeah, I think like very normal, like natural expressions of magic for like children who grow up around it and therefore know it exists,
Yeah.
is probably like in the like maybe like 6 to 9 year range, and then
Yeah.
kind of
Cal
10
was
is when it
probably
starts to.
early because
Yeah,
cult, and
yeah,
early probably
exactly.
meant about 3 or 4.
Yeah, and it was absolutely a thing of like, we're going to teach you kindergarten. Sit here. Here is a stack of blocks. This block says A. Reach out for the darkness within and try to push this block over. um, so, uh, Ellie and Cal, seemingly at least, you don't know timeline wise about Nox, but seemingly at least showing magic that young is not just like strange. It is unheard of in many ways.
Disturbing.
Yeah, like
Oh,
not impossible. You're like, it's possible other people experience this, and I just haven't heard of it. Not a
but
lot of kids and childcare learning in my history, but yeah, it's pretty crazy.
um, yeah, Metal's gonna be like, oh, around this age, and then I started like studying and learning elemental magic um when I was 10 or 12 or so. Um, but I
Oh
can
well,
I can
that's great, dear. We do take all types,
okay.
even
Stop
with
it!
even
Stop!
without access to the light. There are many ways to serve the church.
Stop it.
um I think The kiddos are still in the room, right? They're all
Yeah,
like,
they're just
okay.
playing and romping around in the background.
Metal's like, I
Probably
can.
at this point, uh, uh, probably at this point, Knox has picked up Kekino and is now taking him over to a little bookshelf that's in the corner, and it's very clearly like, this was the uh like an empty or very small bookshelf with like the Bible or something in this hotel room, and it's clearly those have all been like shoved under a bed, and the children's books are here, and he is pulling out some like early chapter books to show to Kekino.
Oh, I think Metal's like, um, I mean, I could always show them some like elemental magic if you wanted, and then she might like go over and like crouch down and like do like the equivalent of like an Aang like airball thing, like.
Cute.
Oh, they would love that, children. And they like instantly like wrap up what they're doing and gather, like not unlike trained
Together,
dogs.
together. Oh God.
and Cal, who's been let down, has been toddling along, and they all come and sit in front of you, and you go, look at this,
Whee!
look at this,
And
look
then
at
if
this.
there's like
Go,
a cup of water or something, it'll just do like a little woo.
oh yeah, bouncing from glass to glass.
Yeah.
They go, oh wow, wow. Um,
Isn't that
Ellie and
cool?
Cal are just looking at you, wide-eyed, um, and Knox is very excited, but he goes, that's a really precise manifestation. Um, I think that that's really interesting. Um, do you
Oh.
know if it's sort of like, because the with the water, you can also make cold, right? So there's kind of like a transference of heat. Do you know the mechanics of that? Because it seems like on the surface it disobeys um, Newton's mom Newton's Newton's laws of thermodynamics, um, and
Wow.
it's just really interesting. And
I
I
think
think I think now that Nox has like captured Metal's attention, think probably behind Metal's back, Cal and Elise see Ellie walk up to one of the glasses of water that you used, stare at it for a moment, and then go, "Ugh," and all the glass in the water jumps up, forms a ball, and then splashes back into the glass, mostly making it in. And she managed
I,
to copy you just by observing.
Metal's like, oh wow, that took me some time actually. Okay, to learn that. Um,
Yes, she's very quick. Dear, you did make a mess, though. Okay, you're gonna have to be careful about splashes.
Metal
And
was considering doing like a little fireball, and now she's not going to.
yeah, no, that's smart.
She's
Um,
gonna be like a little valve, like, and then no, she's not going to.
and I think you see Elise looking at you like, thank you. um, yes, the as this sort of winds down a little bit. Um, um, there does reach a point where Cal starts crying a bit. The baby. I don't know if
I mean,
you know who Cal
probably.
is. Um,
Cal was getting emotional, and then the horror has been setting
yeah.
because I do want to illustrate this. I don't know if she says anything, but Elise grew up as a prodigy, and Cal did not, and there was a lot of jealousy with that at the time. But adulthood and separation from Elise made her realize that being a child prodigy
is a
was
good
more of
thing.
a curse than a blessing,
Yeah.
and she was grateful that her magic developed more evenly throughout her childhood instead of going way too high and then leveling off in her teen years the way that Elise's did, and she is shocked Elise would deliberately uh, uh, emulate that with her children, assuming that she had also come to the revelation that having child prodigies is very bad. And she doesn't know, she's not feeling like brave enough to speak up about that. But yeah, the horror set, she was disturbed, and then Ellie's immediate pickup of the water trick was when she was like, oh, this is bad. This is very bad.
I think you don't have enough context in this moment, even knowing your sister, to know if it was like on purpose they're prodigies or just like I wanted to make them talented or strong, and like the way I did that made them come out as developing really fast. So it's not necessarily something she did on purpose, but you also don't know that it's not, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, so, uh, as Cal starts to cry a little bit, and Elise picks him up and gives him to Lee. She just goes, "Okay, I think that's breakfast time, and why don't we go speak over some coffees while we wait for your companions?" And then it looks like the talk is going to be, about 45 minutes from now. So I will need to get ready and make sure everything's, sort of prepared.
All right. Thank you.
Yes, of course. Let's well, I'd say retire to the lounge, but we've only been here a few days. Kitty, is there a lounge set up? Yeah, no, that's yeah, okay. Um one of my people will clear out of the room for a minute so we can have a lounge, and we'll get coffees.
I'm gonna do a fucking insight check on the little child brides.
Yeah, go for it.
Metal waves and is like, goodbye, little children.
Yeah, 11 for fucking creepy ass mail order teenager brides.
Um as Metal says goodbye children, uh the minders are trying to round them up. Ellie and Nox are playing like tag, running around your legs. But as soon as you're like, "Well, goodbye," Nox like stops and holds out a hand to you for a handshake and says, "Thank you for joining us this morning."
Well, thank you for having me. I'm looking forward to us having some discussion on magic theorem one day.
And to you as well, detective, thank you for coming.
Pleasure to meet you.
And then he whispers to Kekano before like handing him back. Detectives are so cool. I'm a detective too.
The
and
metal's like, we are.
yes, you're sort of leaving the room with your 11. Uh, should we talk about that Nox thing we were talking
The
about?
age difference. That part. Whatever. Do child brides and I'll Discord message you about it.
Okay. Um. Um. Uh, with an 11 for the child brides, yeah, they're not being deceptive in this moment. You see, like, a little bit of, like, harriedness from running after the children. But you also see, like, love is a little strong, because, metal, I mean,
Kitty, Lee.
Yes. Love is a little strong because it implies kind of romantic infatuation, but you see devotion in their eyes when they look at Elise. That borders on kind of the fanatical a little bit. Um, and you, I think, get the sense that these are not like children that were groomed to obey Elise, but they are neck deep in the cult. Um, yeah. As you retire from the room to a slightly quieter place, where you get some coffees delivered to you. Um, you realize this was very clearly someone's hotel room that Elise kicked out one of her followers. They just shoved their personal items in like the closet before they left, and now it's a nice little arrangement of couches and side tables with some coffees delivered to you. I think we will jump from here to what Fish and Sarah and also Jamal now are
I'm
doing.
sorry, baby boy. I didn't want to do it to you. I wasn't going to, but I literally was. I was just going in my head real time to Cal, being like, Cal's about to be very emotional. And the idea of being emotional in front of Jamal, even if she's veiled, makes her want to throw up. So she was like, get the fuck out of here.
But she kept metal.
Of course she did.
Of course she did.
It's a
Um,
buddies.
as Fish and Fish and Sarah walk around, they're like, yeah, I was thinking like maybe like Temple of the Sacred Carp or something like that. Does that work?
Very good. I like that a lot.
And the mottos,
Um,
Carpe Necrum. Yeah.
nice. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, you know what? I think Sarah, you would make a really great necromancer.
Fuck you. Oh my god. What the fuck? No. God. Can't believe yeah, you know what? Not even gonna say that. Fuck you.
Mm.
Also, to reiterate, Sarah does have like her rifle slung over her shoulder. She's just walking around fully armed while all this is happening.
Yeah, maybe let's pop that under the robe. Although you should do it, otherwise I'll get handsy.
Um, she stops and makes eye contact with you while she like unbuttons the robe a little bit. Wearing still full clothes underneath it, but just kind of like oh, I dare you. But then sticks the rifle underneath and then goes, just to let you know, if some shit goes down and my rifle gets tangled up in this fucking circus tent, it's gonna be your fault.
Oh, for sure. Everything's my fault. Don't forget, I'm stupid.
Yep, I remember.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and as you go through the sort of this floor of the hotel, um, there's a couple of times you stop for directions to just ask random followers who are running past, like, oh, who's been in this area for a while? Where can I find someone like this? Um,
Have you
uh,
seen someone short and blonde?
yeah, exactly. Give me either an investigation check or a persuasion roll, and
Hmm.
I'd say do it with advantage because of help from Sarah.
Okay, I'm gonna metagame and persuasion roll because that's higher than investigation.
All right.
Fuck me. Okay, 15.
15. All right. With a 15, you get some kind of scattered information of being like, of being like, yes, a small person in a robe. I mean, I've I've seen a number of that. Um, uh, but eventually, especially with uh, Denizel's help, um, you make your way to what seems to be kind of like more senior clergy or like leadership who are clearly having some kind of meeting about what's going on today. Most of them are a little bit older than the average you're seeing here. Um, Mixed men and women, probably more. Probably slightly higher proportion of men than you've seen like among the normal people in the hallways, the normal members. Um, you got a 15. Roll me a perception roll as well.
Alrighty. 7.
With a 7, you see that a couple of the women leaders in here have some children that seem to be like kind of acting like assistants. They're mostly under like the ages of like 16 or so, like young teens, late or older children, like being little assistants, running papers for them and organizing things like that. Not really sure what to make of that, but
That's
uh,
weird, but I'm busy looking at Sarah.
yeah. Um, and as you go and meet with these others, uh, Denizel makes some introductions for you and says that you are asking questions, with Elise's blessing, essentially. Um, and with a 15, you get a couple of people who have noticed um, uh, necromancers around. Um, there have been a couple who were spotted sort of back home in the main church, just sort of like visiting the facility or kind of sneaking around, and you find out that there's like standing orders from Elise that anyone suspicious gets reported, um, possibly because of the danger of assassins. But for more recent stuff, you actually do find a sort of middle-aged gentleman who basically says, "Yeah, I was helping set up early this morning, and there was for just a moment I ran into a seemingly a woman was totally covered face to in black, and she kind of disappeared afterwards. Don't know what that was about." And you get a couple other reports about that, like people like seeing this figure from a distance, or seeing very briefly, but nothing that's like really concrete. There's no one who's like, I could definitely tell you how tall she was and like what her build was, because nobody was that close. It was always seemed to be like she was, uh, you know, she, if it was a woman, was hiding and then kind of discovered temporarily before disappearing. That's what you get with a 15.
Okay. So like this, the main area where the talk is going to happen, right?
Hmm.
Is Are we talking like an auditorium type deal where there's going to be vantage points up high? Because my suggestion then would be that Fish and Sarah post themselves there.
The because you have been to the place, and so has Sarah. I will say that there is the main like meeting room is kind of like a half basement. The entrance is higher up than the like main floor. Um, so there are a couple vantage points. They're all on like one side of the auditorium. There's not like there's not like balconies and alcoves and stuff like that, but there is
Mm,
definitely like a little bit of high ground. Um, and you would also know, because this is where you caught Sarah sneaking, that some of the rooftops nearby overlook through the windows into the space.
mm.
Um, what Sarah basically told you she was doing was like counter sniping. She was like figuring out if, she had seen someone on the rooftops and she figured out, well, if someone was on these rooftops, they would be like prepping for whatever's happening in this event space. And then she was investigating that when you caught up with her.
The way Fish sees it is that if a sniper intervenes, that's just out of their hands. And the thing that they can do is post up at the entrance because, one way in, one way out. They are
Hmm.
assuming, and completely forgetting that necromancers can shadow walk.
Yep.
Just like, yep, they have to get past us sometime.
Um, I would say give me a. What role do I want this to be? Give me an investigation check with advantage.
Okay, 17.
17. Okay. There is a map of the auditorium that you see kind of like on the planning tables where that they're using to like lay out where tables and chairs are going to go and like decorations and backdrops, and you can use that to sort of figure out, have a visual reference for the lay of the land, and use that to find a pretty good place to post up near the entrance. You
Before
will
we
get
post up,
well, I
uh,
mean that's gonna happen later, but I mean I'm telling
yeah,
you now so you can remind me when it becomes relevant, because you rolled high enough to um, figure this out through the map. You will have advantage on the stealth check to like
okay,
hide near this entrance in Overwatch.
brilliant. But any additional like back ways where it's like, okay, this is supposed to be a fire exit. No one's supposed to be going through this way, but obviously a suspicious character would.
Yes.
Uh, are there some of those?
There is one fire exit that's decently close to the stage. There is also what seems to be some kind of like backstage area. It's not mapped in any great detail because it's not necessary for figuring out like where the decorations are going and
Mm.
stuff. But it looks like on a 17 that there is fully like a back door, like a backstage entrance or something.
Okay, well, let me just real quick if we can arcane lock multiple things at one time.
Arcana check.
Okay. Mm, that's it's bad. It's 8.
Okay, with an 8. Um, you think that like yeah, I mean, you can absolutely try. You don't see a reason why it wouldn't work. I mean, sealing a place is sealing a place. What does one door have to do with another door, you know?
Mm,
Are they
yes,
magically connected? Uh, well, I mean, maybe, but
they're gonna
probably not.
be.
Yeah, you're just like, yeah, probably that'll work.
Mm-hmm.
I think you're decently
Then
confident.
yeah, okay. Then in that case, you know, Fish goes to Sarah. Hey, I learned how to do a thing. Let me show you. and they go to the fire door near the stage, and cast arcane lock on that.
Okay, that is downstairs, so you'd have to like travel a little while and get away from the like discussion stuff.
Okay, well then this is after we've wrapped up that.
Okay.
And I do want Fish to ask the where Lisa's fucking where they're from, like where you guys from?
Oh well, this is your guide, Elisa's second in command, John Denizel. He's like, well, our main church is uh, actually down south in the United States. We did have a pretty small following originally in Georgia, which is where we got our start there, and then we started gathering some followers. As it happens, we really just saw a a better chance. Just sort of moving up to Omaha, and we've just
Hmm.
been growing all the time.
Growing all the time. And do you like accept new converts, just like pretty much without discrimination?
I mean, certainly not without discrimination. Yes, everybody is welcome to join us. We tend to, you know, sort of ease people into the mysteries, and did some secrets. None of the mortals learn about magic, and because of that, they also usually don't get too high up in the leadership. But um, uh, there's uh, Elise. I'm sorry, is Elise trolling the Bible Belt? Not technically, but her religion is very based on evangelical Christianity, so makes sense. Um, um, you gotta earn your dues a little bit, but yeah, we take all kinds.
Hmm.
Were you
That is
interested in joining us?
well, we might be because my dear cleric over here, Tessera, she and I, we're not happy with the the temple of the carp or whatever it was that we decided it was called. Uh, we may be up for conversion, so just treat us extra nice, and we may come with you.
Right. I didn't think there were necromancers that high up in the sanctuary staff, but yeah, of course. And then you're suddenly like, oh right, I was ignoring him, but he was there when we were like introduced to Elise and stuff.
Um, damn. Okay.
Yeah, but he seems to not be questioning it too much. I think you realize that. Yeah, give me an insight check.
Okay. Nat 20, 22.
Nat 20. Okay, with a nat 20, I think that while you've been randomly talking to and bothering people, and John has been like running behind you trying to keep you out of trouble, you've realized a few things about his character. Which is one, sure, he's religious. Like, sure, he believes in the faith. But, like, what he's concerned about is that, like, the church's rent is paid on time. And, like, we've got, regular services. And that none of our little chapels are short staffed. You realize that somehow he has become second in command while because he is the bureaucrat. He is the
Mm,
bureaucrat of the religion. Um, not that it would totally fall apart without him, but this man has terrible personal charisma, no ability to preach or convince anybody, but is probably a pretty good accountant. That kind of skill level we're dealing with here, and as well, I think you realize that whether it's because of sort of a devotion to Elise or some like greater source of faith or what have you, yeah, a natural 20. You realize that when it comes to like matters of religion and faith and Elise, this guy like fully just shuts his brain off. Elise is like, this is true today. And he's like, you said the opposite yesterday, and Elise is like, yes, I've had a revelation. And he goes, okay, let's change all the doctrine. There is so little like questioning in him, just like an entire lack of like curiosity or like
not an
religious doubt,
inquisitive nature.
not an inquisitive nature at all. And it seems like doubly true for this religion that you were like, yes, I want to convert, and he was like, I have all this evidence that you're not who you say you are, and I'm completely ignoring it because you showed an interest in our cult. And
Huh.
so you realize that that is a blind spot for him, that like he has a lot of reason to suspect you're not necromancers from the Temple of the Carp, not least of which because he was hurriedly behind you when you had that conversation. But you realize that he has heard we're thinking of joining up, and everything else has gone out the window.
Okay. Uh, Mr. Denizel, as a sanctuary agent, I am required to keep up a number of different. Fuck, Ink has forgotten what the word is. When you're a spy and
Aliases?
aliases,
Aliases.
that's the one. Multiple aliases at a time. And I do think it would be very useful to establish one in your church. Uh, Honestly, this one is going nowhere, this necromancer one. So it may just have to be part of their story that they quit necromancy and join up with you guys.
Huh, I never really thought about it that way. I'd have to ask the Reverend Mother, of course, but that's very interesting. Um,
Oh, it doesn't mean at all that I myself don't believe. It's just, in this job, you have to have your fingers in lots of pies, and I don't know why I fucking said that. Sorry, she's distracting me. She's just standing there not doing anything, but I'm distracting me.
I mean, Sarah is probably making faces at you over Brian's shoulder.
Um, yeah, but basically, dude, trust me. Source, dude, trust me. Roll whatever I should roll.
Yeah, I'd say roll persuasion with advantage.
Brilliant. Piss. 11.
11. Let's see. And he got with modifiers a 10. So yeah, he is not like 100% on board with what you're saying, but he's definitely like, yeah, no, I get that. Yeah, no, that might be a good idea. And he kind of like reaches out and puts a hand on your shoulder, and he's like, if there's anyone who can convince you, it's the Reverend Mother. You'll only need to speak with her a little while, and all your doubts will be put to rest. Don't worry.
Thank you so much. I really cannot wait to have a, a conversation with that woman.
Yes. No, I understand. It's truly an experience. Um, while he's talking, Sarah's probably over his shoulder, making like a jacking off motion while he talks. Um, and as this like conversation is happening, Jamal like busts into the room and it's like, "Oh, I found you. Oh, oh,
Oh,
oh."
Tractate, hi. Excuse us, Mr. Denzel. We've got some business with our fantastic research assistant. Well, not mine, Denier's. Cleric Denier's. And fuck off, we're talking to him now.
Oh, yes, of course. I will just see to some arrangements. Yes, give me just a just a minute. And Jamal is like, "Oh, okay, I found you." Oh, oh. Uh,
Hey there. How's it going? You get lost?
this is a big hotel. I didn't know where you went. I kept following loud noises. It was just a lot of people kind of getting ready, getting out banners and such. Uh,
Oh, expecting to find us banging in the closet, huh?
what?
No? That's fine. Anyway, you got kicked out. You weren't welcome to the meeting, were you? That's a shame. I would have thought that Danielle would have wanted you there.
Excuse me. Cleric Denier thought that I should keep an eye on you and keep you from causing trouble, and that was the most important thing I could be doing in this moment.
Hmm. Not supporting her?
I will support her however I can, and she asked me to support her in this way.
Okay. Sarah, if you asked me to fuck off, is that you asking me to support you?
God, I don't know. There's like fuck off and there's like fuck off, you know? Like sometimes I'm like, yeah, fuck off, and you're like, haha, yeah, and then sometimes I'm like, fish, if I see your face again, I'm gonna kick you out a fucking window, you know?
Yeah. Jamal, do you think that Danielle was gonna kick you out of a window?
I I no. No.
You know what? I
No,
think
she
you're
she
right.
wouldn't do that. She wouldn't do that.
No, she wouldn't. She likes you a whole lot. Talks about you all the time, you know. I'm so sorry. I wasn't supposed to say that. She asked me not to. I'm slipping up.
No, I mean, if you tell me what she said, maybe I can help her more effectively.
No, I've really said too much. How about the three of us? Let's just walk the grounds and, oh yeah, I'm gonna go lock that door that I wanted to lock. Uh, you know, uh, Jamal, you're not so bad. Maybe you should tell us about yourself. Yeah, regale Sarah and I with stories of your fantastic and interesting life.
Okay, yeah. You start heading downstairs to the auditorium. You eventually show Sarah your arcane lock, which she is impressed by because she's blowing you off in her impressed voice rather than her actual fuck off voice.
Mm-hmm.
Sarah's not great with positive attention, um, and she decides that she is going to post up like in the corner opposite from you so she can keep an eye on like the backstage and this door that you locked, and between the two of you you're gonna kind of be like Overwatch. in this. Meanwhile, Jamal is telling you stories about his older sister, his mom, a love of books where they uh, couldn't afford to take him to school when he was really young, so he would just get dropped off at the library and teach himself until he was like 10. There was a um, there is stories that are not at all interesting about like how he taught himself the magic for making little origami figures. It's just like it's sometimes sad, sometimes happy, and kind of always a little bit boring.
Yep. Fish says, and Jamal, thank you so much for telling me all this stuff. It really helps me get a better idea of you. I want to ask, what did you think of Mrs. Shepherd? Like, what was your immediate thought of her?
I think she was very impressive. She certainly seemed to affect Cleric Denier in a very strong way. Um, uh, yes, a strong, independent woman.
Oh yeah, I that's definitely part of my type. But also another huge factor is that like I kind of need a woman who I feel like can beat me up. Glances over at Sarah. And in men, I like a man I feel like I can beat up. Looks at him.
That must not be a lot of men. And Sarah kind of nods.
Well, do you want to test it out?
I'm gonna have him roll insight. Give me a persuasion or deception based on if you're like if this is a genuine offer, or you're trying to like fuck with him or tease him a little bit.
It's teasing. So what's that?
That would be deception.
Alrighty. Okay. I've sighed as if it was a bad roll, but it wasn't a bad roll. It's just I sighed because I realized I forgot what my modifier was. Okay, let me tell you what I fucking rolled. Rolled an 18. My modifier to deception is 7. So 25.
Okay. 25. Um, he has a -1 to insight, but got a natural 20.
Good for him.
Um, I think that makes it actually about even with all your modifiers. So I think he looks at you. He looks at Sarah, who is giving him like very suggestive eyebrow wiggles, and he goes, "I think I'm good. I think I'm good."
Yeah. Too much on the straight and narrow to walk on the wild side with Fish and Sarah. You much prefer a little nun type. Makes sense.
What are you saying?
Hmm?
What are you saying? What do you mean by that?
That you're obviously into Denier.
I didn't say that.
You don't have to.
Okay,
And you.
yes, fine, fine, yes, yes, I am, yes, no, I am, yes. Oh my god, I am so much. Do you have.
Hmm.
What does she say
Well,
about.
I think you're in luck. But
Really?
uh, what? Oh, I mean, I don't know. You know that she and we actually really don't get on that well enough. So I could just be fucking with you. And how would you know?
If you're fucking with me, I'll kill you.
I'll kill you first. How are you gonna
I
kill
would
me?
like to.
Fucking
I would
death
like
of
to
a
see.
1,000 paper cuts? Come on now, you little nerd.
You haven't gotten paper cuts that often, have you?
Not particularly, no.
You don't bleed that much. God, does it hurt? You think you get used to it first couple hundred? No, it's always exactly the same. Can you imagine what it's like to have paper cuts all over your body? Every inch? Can you imagine
Every
experiencing
inch?
that? Every inch. Sensitive bits included. Can you imagine that? That pain? And not bleed to death? Something to think about. Fish.
Oh, you're
You know,
actually
I gotta
threatening
say,
me.
this guy's a fucking nerd. I like him a lot more than I expected to.
Alright, Sarah, you can go fuck him in the closet then.
No, I'm not a nun, so, you know, out of luck.
No, but God knows he needs some tension. Release.
I think I'm gonna go back to my nun, as you say,
You're none.
as you put it. Goodbye,
She'll love it.
Miss Longfisher. See you, fish.
Tractate.
And he leaves and heads back upstairs. We're going to now jump back to a little conversation over some coffees with Metal and Elise and Cal.
I will say, Cal is through this conversation is getting increasingly nervous when Jamal intended to fetch those two does not come back. She's like, oh no.
Yep.
I don't hear screaming,
Yes.
so
Fire alarm's not going off. Could be worse. um, as um, as you are sitting chatting about inane things, Elise is like, so you're only 20? That's so young to be a detective in the sanctuary. That's very impressive.
It is.
Thank you. Yeah, it's great.
Yes,
I
no,
love
it's
it.
very impressive. And you know, I feel like I've heard your name a little bit before. Vaunt, you were well, I mean, I do my research before I come to a new place. I mean, I know legacy families are pretty
Oh,
uh, good at helping out with donations and such. You're a legacy, isn't that right?
oh yes, yes. Technically, yeah.
Oh, well, that's that's great. That's good for you, hon. Um, So, 12 years isn't that big of a gap when we get into ages. I think once we get a little time to mature, I think that well, you got along with little Noxie, right?
Oh,
pardon?
excuse me.
But I mean, just
Wait, 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 wait. What are we talking
not
about? What?
now, obviously, but when he's older, maybe a consideration.
Please.
A
I'm
baby?
I'm just trying to do what's best for both of you, you
I'm not
know? And
oh I'm not going to introduce you to my friends if you're going to be disgusting about it.
It's not 12-year age difference is not disgusting at all. It happens all the time. We just need to wait until both of them mature a little bit. You know, can't have children getting married.
With you.
Metal is internally like, damn, this
That's-
kind of shit happens in society too, but never to this level. Like, damn.
I think you get the sense that Elise would be pretty at home in kind of the very cutthroat world of society politics.
Yeah, the anxiety's setting in now. um, I'm I I'm gonna have to give a solid no on that.
Okay, a solid no. We can always come back to it.
Elise.
Give
Firm,
third chance.
firm.
Firm
Elise.
no. I understand. I know how to take no for an answer. Maybe I
You
didn't
didn't
at
before.
well, I've grown and I'm older and more mature now, so meh.
Mm.
I goes, I understood with the fail.
You go, "Nah, and claw. As the coffees come in and you start sipping, talk at least immediately tries to steer the conversation away from this seeming blunder of hers. Um, but yes, she starts discussing magic and a kind of necromantic theory. She's really excited to tell Cal how, kind of the magical discoveries she's made. And every once in a while she's like expanding on a concept for metal, but it seems to mostly be kind of like Elise sharing time for a moment. Um, what do you think the two of you kind of shift the focus of that conversation onto? AKA, are you like, let's explore the weird uh child having magic thing, or are you more like, where is this power coming from? I'm gonna give you each like an opportunity to ask a question about like essentially her power or what she's been up to,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm.
she'll answer it during this conversation.
I think Metal will definitely be like, um, here's how long it took me to learn how to do that water move that your kid did earlier.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of crazy how like how smart and like talented they are. Where does that come from?
Well, I like to think that I'm responsible for much of it. Their father Ezekiel was mortal. So I don't think he really contributed that much in that regard. But
Or
a lot of good genes there, and I believe he had magic somewhere pretty distantly in his family. I mean, I think it'd been a couple generations since it showed up, so not nothing. But yes, I mean the secret is just really just inducing in utero.
is that what you guys do? Is that what that's going on?
Oh, well, we believe that in the same way that there is a realm of death that other necromancers believe in and sometimes explore, there is also a realm of life, a sort of a pre-birth place where the for lack of a better term, the soul comes from, and sometimes where magic comes from. And through my experiments with some of my earliest flock, we really found that when you um, when you experience pregnancy, that 9 months of growth really allows you to tap into that realm. It kind of gives you a little hole that you can widen and sort of borrow power from. It's quite a drug, I will say. Feeling just this rush of pure magic, um,
Hal
and
has been angry the whole time, so she has been pretty silent and letting Metal lead the conversation. But at this, she'll be like, which is why every necromancer who is not of a heathen sect wants her dead.
yes, because I have discovered a secret to power that they could only dream of.
A power that
But
might not be safe for the world or death.
I actually think quite the opposite, Callie. In my experiments, I have seen what I think is a transfer of energy from the realm of death into this realm of life. I think, get this. Okay, this is a new term, just learned it. I think it's recycling. Huh? Can you can you imagine? Okay, the passage without any big death events, any big um, death bringer or things like that. Just just full life. You end, your soul moves on, you die instantly, reincarnated with all of your memories back into a baby, a second life.
You done that with
And
your children?
we're still exploring, but haven't entirely got the transfer process it's settled in yet. Not with my own children. We've done a couple other experiments. We're really not to that point yet. More research needs to be done. No, my children are sort of uh, uh, natural souls, I suppose you could say. Um, but yes, when they were born, I opened that realm to some magic, and I gave some to myself, and I gave some to them, and they essentially got a couple months head start, plus a lot of natural talent through this process. Just sort of infused with magic from a young age.
will
You
you
need
just will you just keep having children until you get it to be the way that you want?
I was thinking three, and Ezekiel really wanted three as well. I'm not going to rule out having more in the future, but I think three is enough for me, at least until they are a little more grown. It's exhausting being a mother. And you're like, you have two little like helper slaves doing a lot of the work for you, but sure, whatever.
Metal's been making this disgusted face that I've been making the whole time. It's very like not even like she's just like, what the fuck did I walk into? Uncomfortable.
Yeah, and of course, there's the little changes once you get into the obviously once you get into the realm of being able to
Elysium.
give. Yes.
This has to be the end of it. You can't go any further.
Why ever not, dear?
It's too much. It's too. You're losing me. Why would you do this to your own children? I don't understand how your
Why would I
second
make
born is going to.
incredibly powerful sorcerers?
I watched you burn out when you found out you weren't the Deathbringer. I remember that. Why would you simulate the same plateau of power that you went through?
We had a rough upbringing. I know it's hard for you to see that so fresh out of the temple, but my horizons have expanded, and our childhood wasn't good. I didn't get the support that I needed. And one thing that my children will never lack is support. I will show them support and love, and I will nurture their gifts. And if they want to use them, or if they want to throw them away, it is entirely up to them. But I am only giving them the opportunity.
It's too much and it's dangerous and you're setting them up to be targets. You if, you think you think Pagan would stop at assassinating you? You think they wouldn't try to get your children as well? They knew what you did?
Um, you see Elisa's expression kind of close a little bit, and she says, she kind of looks down at her hands, which she's kind of like rubbing in her lap, and she says, almost too quietly for you to hear, I would scrape her soul from reality, unraveled and destroyed before I let that happen.
If you were dead, you couldn't do much about it, could you, Elysium? You have no regard for your own safety. I try to protect you, and you tell me that it ruins your image.
Well, perhaps I have confidence in my own abilities, unlike you.
Cal gets up.
Metal gets up. Maybe we should just, you said you needed to get ready for your speech. Maybe we should just take our exit now and see you later.
Yes, thank you. And I hope I will see you there.
Mm. Thanks for the coffee. And she's gonna like tentatively hold her hand out to Cal. Be like, "You want me to hold your hand? Can I grab you?"
Cal takes it, but like her grip is very like loose.
Metal holds it loosely. Okay. And then just gonna kind of gently lead her out.
Wait,
What?
she comes up and gives you a hug. And she says, I know you've always wanted to protect me, and I know you've always tried. I appreciate it. I just don't think I need it. I'm sorry
Let's
to
hope
say.
you're not proved wrong.
Well, I haven't yet, so.
Tail was right.
And Cal sniffs really loudly and breaks the hug.
As you leave, you hear Elise sigh and very quietly say, she often is. And you leave, and the door closes. And Kekano leans against your leg and goes, Clams, everything's gonna be okay. Sometimes people who love each other fight, and that doesn't mean that it's bad forever. Also, Colliginous,
Yes.
can you pick me up, Colliginous?
Yeah.
Picks up.
Pick him up. He comes up and he puts his flippers on your face, and he's like, "Don't tell Dad." But what the poop was that about?
Freaking hell.
Don't tell Dad I use swears.
That's such a bad word.
I
know,
didn't
I'm
think she
sorry.
was. I knew a little bit. I didn't know she was that. I'm sorry. I would have been a little more. I would have warned you more if I knew. I'm sorry.
That was really scary and weird. And
Yeah,
also, I don't like when you're upset. And she
I'm
was
sorry.
upset, and Metal's upset, and I'm
I'm so
upset.
sorry, Metal.
Kakano's upset.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Kakano. You guys can all go. You can
No,
get Kessel and go back to the sanctuary. I'm sorry. Go get
no.
Fish and Sarah. I can handle this myself.
I don't really care what she says to me, but I care what she says to you. We will stay. And I'm not gonna marry your nephew.
No, Saints, no. I'm so sorry.
He seemed fun. He
I just want to
knew.
put it out there.
You
I'm
can
not gonna
marry
do
him,
that.
Kakano.
Okay.
No one's gonna marry
You
anybody.
hopscotch.
I mean, lots of people know hopscotch.
But he promised to teach me.
You can marry. You can get your father's permission to marry
No
my nephew.
marrying. Just be friends.
Okay.
Let's just be friends.
Okay, yeah, maybe I'll ask Dad. Also, what is married? Dad has never
Okay.
explained it to me. I asked, and
I'm not getting into that.
it's a prison that you never escape from.
Kagina,
That
this is
that makes sense.
such an unfortunate. This is a terrible context for you to learn the word marriage. We're gonna circle back to this at a later date, buddy.
Okay.
Are we just like in one of the hallways of the hotel right
Yes.
now? Yeah,
Mhm.
Cal's just like wiping away like big fucking tears.
It's probably about this time that uh, uh, John Denizell and Jamal round the corner and see you. And
I think Metal's
uh,
gonna do a quick like casual dry situation, just to be like,
mhm, mhm.
dry those tears up, girl.
Yeah, Cal's just like the like shaky kind of thing of being like, okay, my face might not be wet, but my breathing is still all fucked up, and I'm still
Yeah.
like really shook. So she's just like, I'm trying to motion of like smacking Metal in the arm, like, oh no, fuck.
Oh, Miss uh, Detective Vaughn and Cleric Denier. Hello. Um, we
So
we
sorry.
need.
We both just had this this coffee. It really went down wrong, right, Cal? Oh goodness.
Oh,
Yes.
It doesn't agree with
no,
me. It's you know, sorry about that. I should
no,
have requested
yes,
tea.
it's the Madagascar beans. We can't get good Sumatran here.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
have
Oh
have
sorry.
you
Oh my
seen
voice is mm.
have you seen the Reverend Mother? I think we need to get ready for our event. Over there. Okay, excellent. You ladies have a wonderful day, and we will see you at the talk. And he kind of scuttles off. Um, is everything okay? I mean, are you either of you hurt from the coffee? Get you some water or something?
I think we could use some water.
Okay. Yeah. 1 minute. Comes back a minute later with some glasses for you. You've had the opportunity to kind of collect yourselves a little bit more. Um, he reports, I had joined Miss Longfisher and Fish, and
Oh,
I don't know that I kept them out of trouble, but I did supervise, and they're waiting downstairs doing some security preparations for the talk, I think. Um,
oh,
And and uh also um Sister Denier, if you can just he just kind of like shiftily looks around and then just kind of like leans against a wall so there's no uh so there's fewer sight lines on him, but he's motioning for Cal to kind
Mhm.
of join him.
I don't imagine there's anything you could say without Metal and Kekano present.
Oh no.
Okay, cool.
Big exhale of relief.
um he like very obviously suspiciously to anyone that is watching him. Fortunately, no one is. Uh, leans up against the wall and he pulls out a packet of papers from under his sweater, and he says, "You told me to keep an eye on things, and I wasn't sure if you meant, just Fish and Sarah, or if you meant the other people here. So I just found some documents that I copied when I got
Oh,
the chance to
thank you.
not be seen. So I don't know if these are helpful to you, but I hope so. Um, yeah,
They will be. Thank you.
and he passes over a sheaf of documents to you. Think it's probably time to start heading downstairs. Get ready for this talk. Check in on Sarah and Fish, making sure that they're not, fucking on stage or whatever.
Fish isn't in the mood.
Oh well.
Yeah, Cal is like rubbing little circles in Kekano's fur and does tell Kekano, being like, you can tell your father what happened, but maybe don't do it now. I think they'll be a little distracted.
Okay,
Metal and I certainly am.
Okay, Colichinus. Wait, do I have to call you Cleric Denier in your own mind too?
No,
Cleric
just some.
Denier. Um, I will hold off on telling Dad until we are safe.
Thank you. And no, in my mind, you can call me whatever you want. Um, just be careful if you project to any of the necromancers, alright?
I will call you one of my best friends that I love so much.
That's a long title.
Yes.
You're going to get probably a little tired. Actually, do thoughts get tiring for you? I've never considered that.
Metal's
Whoa,
like, what?
that's crazy.
Yeah, and so they regather, and I'd say roll insight to see how haunted Cal looks, holding Kekano like a fucking like safety
Oh yeah.
line.
Went inciting that right away.
That was a good donk.
It
That
wa- it, wa-
was
it, wa- it was a good dunk. It was a bad roll.
no.
Um, that's 10.
I have to imagine the DC is low.
Um, Sarah got a dirty 20.
Good for her.
So when you rejoin her, I think Fish can see that maybe something happened that upset Cal a little bit. Um, Sarah, I don't think like says anything other than giving you like a far, far too hard slap on the back that is clearly meant to be comforting and instead like fucking hurts like right on the spine.
Cal
Um,
coughs.
yeah, get it out. Um, uh, and Sarah steps over to Fish for a minute, and it was just like, it's like, you know, Spooks is pretty all right. I think it makes sense that all these other fucking dick necromancers just treat her bad.
They do. Well, no, not true. There's this one lady. You haven't met her yet. She's all right. I think that she like really cares about her. But everyone else fucking sucks, and I think that you know she's apparently supposed to go home after all this, like back with them. I fucking hope she doesn't.
Oh
But
man, fuck that.
But I can't say that because then she'd be like, "Oh, I'm definitely leaving."
Yeah,
Uh,
you know, you gotta reverse psychology. You gotta be like, go on, get, and then like you throw a pine cone at them or something. That's what I do with my dogs, and
yeah,
then they stick around forever.
yeah, but Sarah, what if she does go?
I mean, I don't know, and just fucking go to the temple and take her out.
Hmm. um, yeah. Well, hey, do you think I could beat Tractate in a fight?
I mean, you're really scrappy, and there's a little bit of muscle under there. He's got like a lot of height and he's got reach, he's got those lanky arms. So if we were doing like boxing, I'd say probably no. Just like a fight, like a street fight. I think probably you. I think you'd kind of get in there and you'd scrap, you throw some elbows, you bite a couple times. I think maybe yeah. I think there's a good chance.
Hey, Sarah,
Yeah.
I'm a god,
Okay. I'm fucking the Buddha.
and such a beautiful Buddha you are.
Thank
Let's
you.
do the talk.
That was weird. All right, yeah. Let's protect sucky necromancers. Yeah. And
Also, I did want to say real quick that maybe around now, Cal wants to get ask Metal for help for cleaning off her robe. So she has taken off her robe and is just in her dress, giving Jamal some nice elbow action for a few minutes. And
Jamal
if it
does
can't be cleaned, she will force Fish to switch with her.
um it
Can Metal roll to observe Jamal?
sure, roll insight on Jamal.
Not me.
Because she's like, oh yeah, okay, I can like, and then she's like seeing him, and I was like,
Taking her time.
yeah, oh gosh, this
Oh, it's
mustard
deep.
stain. Uh-oh.
Actually, no, I retract that. Not rolling insight, but Fish is attempting to catch Jamal's eye at literally any point, just to like smirk at him, just be like, "Hey, hey,
I
hey,
know.
I'm annoying you."
I got an
Well,
11.
you got an 11. Okay. You do see that he's looking at Cal, but you don't really get the sense of exactly what he's thinking, but you can tell it's
Mm.
an appreciative look, maybe a little torn because it's sad. Even sadder body language is more obvious with the outer robe off, but also gets to see her elbows. You know the uh yeah, the horrifying crying stripper or whatever it is. um
How,
but as he looks, Fish catches his eye for a moment, and then he goes, "Ugh," and turns away to look at the incoming people, because it does seem like a couple of people have started showing up for the talk, and as they are filtering in, you start to see the first of the other necromancers coming in. As
um, how'd the stand go?
based on my roll, you got it almost all the way out. It is still visible and will need professional laundering, but it's pretty good in most lights.
Cal's freaked the fuck out, so she's going to shove it at Fish and say, switch.
Okay, fine. How'd meeting your sister go? I mean, sorry, not your sister.
Bad.
But I'm sorry. I will not say anything else because that will make you feel worse.
Probably.
Metal
Yeah.
nods.
Yeah. Switched into the robe. I think she does, like, start at this point kind of looking out and making sure there's not, like, Tails, like, tapping the seat next to her, or, like, some sort of, like, needing to be summoned kind of thing.
As you get into Fish's borrowed robe, you do see the two necromancer groups come in. It's very much like Pagan in the lead, with and Harkin and Oscura like flanking her like guards, while and then afterwards Tinnitus walks in with just like the wave of his followers afterwards, and they essentially claim like a little necromancer section of the audience, and the two groups are sitting next to each other, but there's a lot of side eyeing, like preparing for the others to pull knives kind of issues. Um, you see Tinnitus looking at you and looking around the venue generally, and then he whispers something to Vane, who then goes over and talks to Sarah standing in the corner.
No. Oh no.
You
I want to say that Cal, Metal, and Fish were all standing and looking out on the crowd. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So they have this moment, and Fish says, "I don't like this," and then notices that Vane goes over, and so steps forward, not to like intervene, but to listen in on what he's saying to her.
As you go to listen in, it based on body language, it looks like a little bit of an argument. But when you get a bit closer, Vane is essentially asking, "Who are you? We don't recognize you, but you're wearing necromancer robes." And she's basically saying, uh, "I'm with the sanctuary crew. You want to take it up with someone? You can go fuck yourself. I'm allowed to be here." And finally, he essentially says, "You need to surrender your weapon, or we're going to take it from you." And Sarah very reluctantly takes her rifle out from under her robe and gives it to not Vane, but waves over one of like Elise's flock to hand it to her, and you hear her say, "If this doesn't come back to me in fucking perfect condition, God, I would not want to be you, okay? Let's take care of this. All right? Good? Good? Yeah, okay. Fuck off. I'll be over here." And sees you watching and just kind of like looks at Vane's back and then rolls her eyes at you.
Don't worry, I'll protect you.
Yeah. I mean, also, my handgun that nobody noticed. But yeah, you two, I guess.
Yeah.
As people start to file in, auditorium starts to fill slightly. You notice that more and more of Elisa's flock is coming in. And then finally things start to quiet as the first people from her flock walk out on the stage, uh, John is flanked to one side. On the other, you see uh, Knox, Ellie, and Cal. Knox is holding Cal's hand, so they're like not supervised on stage, although they probably have their minders backstage. Um, and then with a unfurling of banners and a children's choir. Elise walks out on stage to some scattered applause. There
Cal
is
does not applaud.
There is not dry ice, but there is definitely some like lighting effects.
I would like to say that at this moment, Metal very absent-mindedly says, "Gosh, you guys really do look alike." um, and that's all.
um, as she steps out and the crowd quiets, the choir fades out. As the unseen children stop singing, and she says, "Life, the greatest gift that we have, gift that we cherish, and a gift that we share." Um, as yes, essentially her TED talk goes on. She outlines in a way her faith that like hits a lot of the same points that Metal and Cal got, just in like really really positive tones. There is some kind of oblique references to like a goddess from beyond who like wills these things, but it's not so explicit to like isolate the people who are not quite sold on religion. It's very masterful, mostly because she rolled a nat 20 on her persuasion. But uh, she spins this narrative, essentially saying that the greatest gift you can ever give to the world is to uh, have children and raise them in a way to continue like stewardship of the world. And it's very like tied in with uh it hits a lot of like religious notes without being too specifically copying from any one religion. um but she is really amping up the crowd, and there's a lot of like prosperity gospel about basically like the more children you bring into the world, the more you celebrate life and oppose things like abortion, the more like money and good luck and success you will have in your life as you're rewarded by the power of life and the souls of those yet unborn. There is a lot of focus. Uh, there is a lot of focus on kind of the feminine mystique and the feminine power, which this talk um, is. This talk is about evenly split between men and women. It does seem like it's really reaching the women, both the time period also being uh, like incredibly early days of modern feminism, still kind of like in that out in kind of the outgrowth of the ends of the suffragette movement of being like, yes, I am kind of proud of being a woman, and a woman is a distinct thing from men. Um, but um, it's got a lot of pull, and there's a lot of attraction of just being like a feminine led religion with a popess, essentially. And by the end of her talk, in a dramatic walk down, also accompanied by a choir, where she walks into the audience and touches a bunch of hands, people just start exploding in cheering, and you can tell that she's gotten a lot of converts, and the necromancers are incredibly, incredibly not happy. As
Has there been any activity around the doors?
Give me a stealth check with advantage.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I like how this may be. Dirty 20.
Dirty 20. Okay. Let me roll something very quickly. All right. Give me a perception check with advantage.
18.
18. Cool.
My other roll was 3.
There is not a person that comes in late, but as people are filing in, you feel like people have a physical presence that presses on your mind in very subtle ways, whether it's just unconscious, hearing them move, or a feeling of a body blocking the air against your skin for a moment. Even separate from seeing them, there's a feeling of when somebody walks by close to you. And you have ensconced yourself in a perfect little shadow by the door. High up, everyone has to walk past you, and you've got good views of the entire auditorium. And you feel when 3 people walk past you, but you only see 2 of them.
Fish fucking launches themselves at the third unseen person.
Okay.
Just goes for a tackle. Get him
Give
down.
me give me a athletics check with disadvantage.
Thank you. Okay, I'm sorry, I have to re-roll because even though I did bring my fucking cat to roll in, I missed.
It happens all the time. I miss my box a lot.
That one.
Cool. Are Cal and Metal are somewhere separate from Fish, right?
Yes, you
Yeah.
are in the audience, kind of near the front middle, while Fish is like fully on the back side of the room, watching the entrance. And this was just kind of like at the tail end of the talk. So Elise is still like talking a little bit, getting to her grand crescendo, and walking down into the aisle when Fish leaps out of hiding and just fucking slams into the ground, uh, hitting nothing and getting 1 point of damage as they kind of like bounce off the stairs for a moment. And you all hear it. You whip around as some of the people in the back also notice and turn around questioningly. Um, Sarah has seen you do this, and you see that while she is holding it at her side, mostly like wrapped up in the robe, she has drawn a handgun and is starting to move around the room towards you. What do you all do?
Well, Fish says to Sarah, "Don't fucking come over here. Go find those two people who just passed by. Have a third person that you can't see. Follow them."
Um, Sarah looks at two very normal-looking middle-aged women that seem to be kind of late for this talk as they are chatting with each other, and does not see anyone else or perceive anyone else, and is just kind of like starting to not really freak out a little bit, but being like someone is here and I can't quite see them, but I do believe you.
I think Cal would probably be not really wanting to pay attention to the talk, so she has been pretty much. I imagine she never sat. She just sat on. She was just standing on the side of the seats,
Mhm.
like, oh, it's all full. I can't sit down. Oh no. And so she's been
Oh,
keeping
well.
an eye on Fish and Sarah. And at that, I think she does turn, and she knows to not like fully make her shadows visible, but she turns and she goes like in a fighting stance and is ready to shadow walk over if she needs to.
Okay.
And I'll
As
do an Arcana just to see if I get lucky and notice any shadow walking or anything like that.
and what does Metal
Pass
do?
without trace.
I think Metal is just also standing with Cal and looking concerned in that direction.
18 for my Arcana.
Okay.
Metal would have Kakano in her arms, so you get advantage on him sniffing the air.
Oh
Yep.
yeah, can I do just a perception check?
Yeah, give you a perception check with advantage.
Alright. And if Kekino wants to sniff or however, whatever he would like to do.
Mm-hmm. With a 18 Arcana, you realize you wouldn't feel it if it was farther away, but you feel a little bit of pressure that you recognize from the person that was hiding from you, and you know a necromancer is using a power. It is so close to you that you can tell decently conclusively that someone is using what you realize to be a very extremely amplified version of Pass Without Trace. They are not
Right.
invisible, but they are as stealthy as it is physically possible to be, to the point where they could walk in front of you and you may not see them.
Yeah, I don't think I have a spell to do about it, so she's just going to be on edge.
Metal can do detect heat if somebody tells her there's an invisible human, but
Sure, yeah. After Cal's like,
I'd
there's
say give
someone
me
in
that.
the shadows.
I'd say
perception check.
Give me that perception check first.
I got a 10.
Okay, with advantage.
Yeah, she's like, girl, what's going on?
Yeah,
Huh?
you focus on Cal being upset, and even though Kekino is sniffing, Cal was very upset recently, and that is weighing on him, and so he's also concerned about her. You don't
Yeah.
notice someone else is there, but then you can do detect heat if you want.
I can do it. I'd love to. I know there's probably like a billion people in this room. Or many people in this room.
Hmm.
Okay, yeah. I
Okay,
just
you
do it then.
do detect heat.
Yep.
It has a 20-foot range.
Mm-hmm.
You look around really quickly. There's a lot of heat signatures in here, a lot of people. And you look over it at first, but then you realize there's a heat signature where there shouldn't be one. and you come back to notice, now that you know where to look, you can see how the shadows in the corner are draping ever so gently on a figure sneaking around the side of the room, around the crowd, off to your left. And at almost the same time, you notice this. Wow, that was not even fucking remotely on my table. Try that again.
Ink and Patrick throwing dice off the table, gang.
I did it too.
We're all here, frankly.
I got a dice tray, you guys. What are y'all doing?
You're
Yeah,
the only
me
professional,
too.
Mads.
Me too. I just missed.
How are you missing?
I do this.
You really roll it, you know?
He throws.
You see, at the same time that you notice this figure, Sarah, who's standing a little bit farther away from you, goes down and pulls out her handgun and fires 2 shots at where this figure would be.
Oh. Ah!
Both seem to miss, and you see the
No.
figure immediately disappear from your heat vision as Cal feels a shadow walk. And
Damn it.
up
Can I look
until
around?
this point, yeah, absolutely. Up until this point, you have noticed that the other necromancers don't seem to be noticing anything.
Mm.
Tinnitus is just kind of looking at Cal, a little concerned because Cal seems concerned and is looking around for stuff. Once the shadow walk goes off, all of them perk up a little bit, and then the gunshots. Everyone in the room starts screaming as Sarah just unloads a firearm in a pretty crowded place.
Once she's done doing that, Fish launches at her now. Shit. And now it's like, okay, now you get down, because they're gonna fucking come after you. That thought.
Okay, do you tackle her?
Yes.
Give me a athletics check with advantage.
Fuck. 15.
15. Okay.
Yeah, when I dropped my my die before rolling it, it went on a 20, but that wasn't a real roll.
Well, you still managed to knock her off her feet and cover her when a shadow spear knifes out of the darkness right where she was standing. And you did actually, I checked, you eliminated the advantage this person was getting from attacking from hiding, which means they got a natural 1 instead of a 24 to hit, I believe.
Jesus Christ.
You did just save her.
Quick thinking.
The entire necromantic delegation is on their feet now, and they're all stretching out shadows to find out what is happening. Elise runs and grabs her children and runs backstage with 2 of her kind of like acolytes stepping out to like shield her with their bodies before running away. And there is 1 more shadow spear at kind of Elise's back as she turns and runs. Do that.
Metal's just gonna start moving in directions until she can hopefully like pick up on the person again, because it's only like a 20-foot range. So she's kind of just like, like
Yeah, Kyle's following Metal with a hand on her back, and she's ready to
potentially shadow whack the two of them once that Metal gets a sniff.
Nice. Yeah.
All right. That. Yep. Is that. Ooh. Okay. I gotta roll some dice. Give me a sec.
There's something funny about this audio where like everybody just calms down and then they're like, no, no,
it
no,
fades
no, no,
out.
no, this is bad.
I mean, I edited this audio, so that's a me problem.
No, it's just kind of funny when you read the situation.
It's a roller
Like, and
coaster,
another thing.
actually.
Yeah.
Show that off
Oh
to the
no.
camera. That's
Stop
damage.
that.
That
Oh my
last,
god.
that last scream that goes I'm pretty sure it is in the video game Party Hard. Shout out to Party Hard.
These are all built from free open source sound effects, so it's
Makes
entirely
sense.
possible they're in a lot of video games. Okay. All right. Cool. Okay. As Elise is shuttled out of there and protected, two of her acolytes jumping in the way, you see one of the acolytes, a sort of middle-aged man, get, for lack of a better word, pulped as a shadow spear comes out, splits into a number of small shadow needles, and just eviscerates him. He has 9 HP and received 31 damage.
Christ!
No.
I was gonna maybe do a spare the dying. There is nothing to spare.
There is nothing to spare. He is dead. You can use a resurrection on him, but it would, at this point, it's putting together pieces of what used to be a person.
No, shield's kicking his eyes.
As Elise gets out of there, you've now had 2 shadow spears to see a direction coming from. That's enough
Yes.
to get Metal going in the right direction. Let me get a perception check from Metal.
Metal saw that man get pulped, screamed, and was like, "Oh my god, cow! Oh my god!" Okay. Did you say it was with advantage, or did I just make that up and now I'm gonna get advantage?
You made
on
that
it?
up. It is
Yeah.
flat. No,
Okay.
it's not with
I'm
advantage.
just
It
kidding.
is flat. However, I'm making the
But there's
DC a lot
Gekino.
lower.
It's Gekino and Cal helping.
Yeah, I'm just making the DC a lot lower.
Okay. I got a 16.
16.
Oh, there.
You managed to see a figure in heat who is clinging to the wall about halfway up
My god.
and is
Like a
firing
fucking
from that
spider.
position.
Can I do something?
Yeah, you still have an action if you want,
So-
and you can
Okay.
point out to everyone.
Yeah.
where she
Metal's
is.
gonna be
Shadow
like,
walk
"There!"
Shadow walk does not require, at least on the step, you being on the floor, so I could shadow walk you mid-air to launch you at that person.
Correct.
Also, Metal can fly.
Yeah, no, and I also know you can hover, but Cal's gonna be like, if she says there, Cal's gonna be like, I'm sent, like she's gonna be like tap tap as a signal and just see if like Metal says no, but she's not gonna say anything.
She wants to just throw her at them.
Yeah.
Like the Incredibles.
Yeah,
Well,
that's
throw
the
through
question.
shadows. So I have the ability to shadow step other people. So
Yeah.
you're gonna appear in that space. But yeah, I will
Okay.
send you. If you pointed midair, she will send directly midair. Flying kick.
All right, we gotta go for it.
Yeah. Okay. Because you're willing. I don't think you have to roll anything for it, or I have to roll anything for it. You're
Nope.
just launched.
Okay. You launch up at the figure. What are you gonna do when you teleport right next to them? This is this is like about 12 or 13 feet in the air, so it's not like you're going to be like catastrophically injured by falling this height, but you might stumble a bit. But yeah, what are you gonna do as you find yourself right next to where this figure is?
Did you say they were holding on to something? They're like they climbed up
They're
something?
clinging to the wall with one hand.
Magically.
Well, we've talked about somebody having fucking Wolverine necromantic object, and I think this might be this person.
Uh-oh.
Mads, you do whatever you feel is right, but I am thinking Earth Ripple put them in the wall.
Ooh.
Yo, sick. Okay, I love that idea. Yeah, let's see. Impaled by a spike, slammed, or pulled. Well, it says pulled into the earth. Does that count? Okay, I can
The
see.
wall is concrete, so yeah.
Huh? Okay.
And I think this makes lots of sense for Metal to do because she does this move a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, no,
Oh,
but
no,
that makes
that's-
sense to me.
that's great.
Once you get more familiar with magic, you're much more likely to use it creatively.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. I think Metal's gonna try that. They need to make a dexterity saving throw, so let's hope they're not dexterous.
Okay. You made a good choice because even though you can kind of tell where they are, you might still get disadvantage from like appearing in the air right next to them on an attack. But you can't get disadvantage on making someone do a saving throw. So it was dexterity, you said?
Yeah.
All right.
I crossed my fingers.
What is your spell save DC before I roll?
It's 14.
14?
So high.
Okay,
It's a big number.
I'm gonna do
The crossbow?
crossbow.
Yeah!
I just love the idea of Metal's like, there! And then Cal's like, huh! And then Metal's like, what?
That's some fucking animatic material right there.
It is. It's just gonna hit the wall and then slide down
Make
dramatically.
sure Ellie
if
sees
it's hit.
it. Make sure Ellie sees it.
She snaps.
The beauty guru.
Oh my. Oh no. That's
Get his
not
ass.
right.
Ooh.
No!
You
No!
Yes, it's a dice launcher. It shoots dice. Your spell save DC is 14.
Yeah.
She got a 14,
Yeah.
so she beats it. She manages to avoid getting sucked into the wall. She get damage anyway, or?
Yeah, of course.
Don't lie to me.
Wait, hold on. It just says they have to make a dexterity saving throw or suffer the consequences. So,
Yep.
Yeah, no, they're nothing.
Okay.
Well, that sucks.
Give me a dexterity saving throw for metal.
Metal in the wall.
Okay.
I say dexterity
Good.
or arcana, actually.
Okay. Where are my saving throws? There they are. There is no Arcana saving throw. Which one is that?
No, a dexterity saving throw or an Arcana check.
Oh. Okay,
Whichever's
well,
better.
okay, yes. Oh, okay. I'll do the Arcana. That's a dirty 20.
Dirty 20. Okay. As you do Earth Ripple and you soften the stone, the figure manages to disattach from the wall and drop down without getting sucked in. But you carve enough out of the stone that it's a little bit soft, and you catch yourself on the wall. And you can now control, you can either stay there or control your own fall. You will not suffer any damage or disability from falling from this height. And as the figure falls down from the wall, they appear to all of you.
Ghost!
Seemingly out of nowhere, shadows wrap around and finally reveal, crouching down, a small feminine figure. And as she stands up, she's very slight, short, covered head to toe in black, traditional necromancer's robes, and not a veil, not really. The closest thing to a veil, it's like almost a bag made of veil material, pulled tight across the face. Little like Cal's underveil, but more uncomfortable. And you see a figure who is about Beliala's height. She pauses and waits for a moment and looks at all of you.
Hal will yell, Angelus?
Her head slightly turns towards where you are, as now all the other people and the necromancers see her here. Is Cal going to do anything else in this moment?
I think she'll try to like distract her and then send a shadow spirit. I think. Yeah, sure.
Then give me a shadow spear.
Okay. Oh my god, what? Rolling them into my tray and then they bounce out. Oh, that's good. Ooh, spooky. Oh, well, that's a sweet little 22. So
22. All right. You shoot out a shadow spear, and the figure doesn't really move. You see it enter her shoulder as she slightly drifts aside at the last moment, spearing through her and into the wall. Roll damage.
That's gonna be 15.
A 15. All right. You hear a small grunt when you hit, an exhalation of pain. And then she raises her hand at you casts a spell in response. Not a shadow spear, but something else.
Mm-hmm.
How quickly is she doing this?
As an immediate reaction to what Cal is doing.
Okay. So, not an option for Fish to attempt to dart her wrist so that she at least can't cast it or maybe miss?
Not in this moment, but you will be able to do something in a moment.
Sure. Fish is still on the floor with Sarah anyway.
Yeah.
They're banging.
No, then fucking not! Ready?
They're like, nothing gets me hornier than danger.
I had to break the tension. Yeah, I'm about to go down. I've made my peace with it. Someone please heal me.
Okay. She raises her hand at you. And then as she starts to cast a spell, Cleric Vane actually has the ability to intercede someone else getting attacked as a reaction. I am going to roll for him now. As magic, darkness, and death seeps up from the ground underneath you, Vane manages to dispel it. And you can tell it took something out of him, and it's not something he can repeat. But you do think that he saved you in this moment. Now is for Fish and Sarah.
Okay. Would really love to Well, okay, no. First of all, Fish says to Sarah, "Are you okay? Were you hurt?"
Yeah, I'm fine. I'm fucking pissed off.
Okay, fucking be careful. Okay, don't get speared, please.
Yeah, you either. Don't get your dick blown off.
No, I
And
need it.
break.
Now we're gonna blasphemous dart in Angelus. I'm assuming in the fucking face. Just do it.
Okay.
Go.
Okay. All of it?
All of them.
Cool.
Allow me to get my 50 d4s. $109, $110. I just realized the joke doesn't work because I said 50, didn't I? It should have been 49. Okay. The fat dot is going to do 6 damage.
Okay.
No, 7, I'm sorry. And the other two does, they both do 5 each.
Okay. That's
In the
excellent.
face.
In the face. You see that she kind of like ducks her head so the forehead takes it right on. You blow her hood back and you realize that this wrapping goes all the way around, completely covering her. And as she gets up into a firing position, Sarah takes a shot at her with the pistol as well. And need this. All right. Does a total of 11 damage as she shoots through and hits this woman. You see blood splatter on the wall from the attack going through her leg. And then in this moment, it's time for the necromancers to move. And before they get a chance, this person leans against the wall where their blood is now splattered and just falls back into it, into shadow, and disappears.
Cal does reach out to Vane and say, "Thank you," and do you need? And like at him, like staggering, is like, "Do you need healing?"
No, I'm fine. Where is she?
I guess I'll do Arcana to see if I can detect her magic signature.
Arcana or perception? From anybody.
Also, yes, Eldritch Sight as well, please.
14. Arcana.
12.
Okay. Does Metal not want to roll perception? You're muted.
You're muted.
You also have
Hi.
Kekano.
You do also have Kagano.
Oh,
And the heat vision. Yeah, give me a perception with advantage.
That is 18.
Well done.
Okay. All of you are looking for a way that she got out. You start focusing on the doors that were closest to her, the emergency exit, which is sealed, and the backstage door where the body of Elise's follower was. And you don't see her. There doesn't seem to be any magical traces or anything like that. But then Metal notices something odd as she's looking in the other direction towards the main entrance, a little bit up. And once you turn your focus in that direction, Fish gets a little glimpse of a magical trace, and Cal feels the fading echo of this necromancer. And as you all run towards the entrance, backed up by the other necromancers, you see that somehow, silently, as she was leaving, there are two people who were attending the talks that are dead in the entryway. And
Spare the dying, if I can.
they are fully dead. You would need a resurrection crystal. Yeah, they are.
Do I recognize them? Are they mortals? Are they necromancers?
They're just people who were attending the talk. They're not any kind of any of the necromancer delegations. Whether they're mortal or sorcerers, you wouldn't be able to tell if you didn't know them. And
Were they the
are,
two people that Fish saw?
one of them is, and it seems. Actually, give me an investigation check. Any of you.
12. Again.
Okay.
Got 14.
14.
One for me too?
Yeah, if you want.
I think that's like something very low. Yeah, just a 6.
Okay. With a 12, Fish gets that these people. One was this woman who you noticed coming in. The other one was someone you noticed just sitting kind of like behind them one row, clearly not in the same group. But you did notice that they ran in the same way. So it may be entirely coincidence that these two people were just in the entrance as she exited. Metal sees that when she shadow walked away and then cut her way out, you can see where she burst through the door, and there's a little spot of blood from one of her wounds as she left. And with a 6, Cal focusing on these dead bodies, see that uh, each of them has at least one wound that is sort of shredding them as a body. They're kind of in tatters, and you don't really know what to make of that.
Mm.
The other necromancers have spread out and have secured the area, and one of Elise's followers has tried to gather up the body of the servant who died. But it seems like, at least for the moment, you're safe and she's not here. What do you do next?
Well, I think Fish is gonna go and try and meet up with the rest of the gang, with Cal and Metal.
Mhm.
Metal's gonna be like, "Is everyone okay? Are you guys okay?"
I'm fine. Thank you. And if Sarah's there too, she'll be like, thank you. The 3 of you. It was excellent work.
No, it wasn't. We didn't get her.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
She's
missed.
better.
not
She's a
excellent
lot.
enough. There's bodies.
She's a lot better than.
I don't think it was a stretch for Cal to be like, that is a fucking necromancer operating at a level I cannot even slightly compare with, right?
Give me an Arcana check.
I.
No, or religion. Arcana or religion.
It's the same.
Oh, it's so good. It's a 28.
Yeah,
Okay.
Patrick, when you prompted the Arcana roll, I'm like, dude, you know it's a
You
you know.
I don't
It's gonna be
want
like
to give her
35.
things for free. I don't want to give her things for free.
On the off
Um,
chance it was a nat 1, he had to ask.
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah, it was a natural 19, so.
Damn.
Okay, a 28. You get this sense that outside of the realm of magery, in raw like D&D mechanics, you are all level 5, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
6.
6?
Yeah, we
Yes,
leveled up.
Oh, cool. Level 6.
you were there.
Yeah, I assume. You are all level 6. This person you just fought is the equivalent of of higher than level 15, but not level 20. This is not like a the absolute highest order of necromancer possible. It is definitely up there. It is abbot level, if not yeah, better than a lot of abbots.
Now, with my sweet little 28
Hmm.
and my experience with the Revenant in the ruins, do I feel like this is a person using their own sense of death to have stronger necromantic magic?
You get the sense that No, not in the way that you're thinking. This is not someone who is essentially possessing their own body in order to gain additional power. This is, as far as you can tell, just raw necromancy. But there is something strange about it. A discordant note in the way the necromancy was done. And with a 28, you don't have enough like reference to place it, but there's something a little bit wrong with her necromancy and
Mm-hmm.
can't necessarily be sure what.
Anything off about the soul that I would get in a 28?
No,
Okay.
the soul you would get seems entirely natural to you. It seems well anchored to the body, which means it's probably not a revenant. It seems to be present, so this is not like an undead creature of some
Mm-hmm.
kind. Yeah, it just it seems like a normal human soul.
Her techniques, do they feel, are they totally shocking to me, like the needle knives and stuff like that? Or is there some, like, yes, it's not a common
It's
use of magic, but I've seen it before.
nothing that you saw, including the thing that was going to attack you before Vane
Mm-hmm.
intervened, was like that unusual. It
Got it.
was powerful, but it's not outside the realm of your experience. It's not even like oh, I've heard that they practice this in the Far East. It's like you've probably seen someone who uses their shadow spears in this
Mm-hmm.
way. This is just a more powerful person.
Okay. Does anyone else have suggestions for life ruining questions for Patrick before
I
I
think
give
that's
up
about
my
what you
mic?
get with a
Damn it!
28. I think that's
Damn
about what
it!
you get with a 28. But
I
maybe if
always
someone has
try.
suggestions, I'll allow you to ask it. Maybe. Answer quick. Any
Anyone?
suggestions?
Bueller?
I've got
Bueller?
nothing.
I don't know.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6,
Who is
At
it?
least
5,
type
Who
it.
did
At
it?
least
4.
What's
type it in the
happening?
chat. Mind control. I don't know if I. Sure, mind control. I don't think Cal gets that from necromancy experience.
Yeah, I don't think yeah, I don't think Cal really has enough experience with mind control other than just like straight raw reading and experience with tone of
Sound.
being
And
Yeah.
like,
slugs.
yeah, yeah, mind slugs, that's true. Um mind slugs, the person seemed to be like as capable as they were unslugged as long as there were certain conditions met. Uh from your like very little experience with mind control, you're kind of like people under mind control don't necessarily operate as 100%.
Okay. Well, we can wrap that there, and we'll go back to the actual conversation we were having when I did this. And so she'll, in response to Sarah and like Fish's like frustration, she's like, "We didn't have a chance. They were operating at a level far above mine, and they came in with an advantage. They had. I'm honestly, we're lucky that at all. We were suspicious that someone might come in. If we hadn't caught that, it would have been 1,000 times worse. We did as best as we could. Did better than anyone could imagine."
You're being very positive about this.
Yes, but
I
I got a Glock 19 and someone's not dead. That seems like a failure to me.
I I'm not all right with it at all. I just can't.
But
I just what I need you to understand is there's not particularly good chances for a rematch either.
No.
We come up against this person now that they know, now that know what we're operating with, we're all dead.
Then
This was with a group of necromancers, and this is the damage they did. We're alone if they keep hunting us or hunting Mrs. Shepard. Dead.
And what do they
I will
want
say,
with the
it
ghost
was
data?
it was such a quick attack. You don't know what would have happened if like the Abbots had weighed in or Elise. But yeah, it was scary.
Cal, I think, looks at Fish with that question and is like genuinely like forgot the Ghost Eater was even a thing, and she's like,
For real.
I don't know. I pursued a power, perhaps a revenant.
Yeah. I mean, maybe. Um. Oh shit. Be cool. Yeah. Sister, what on earth was that?
Cal straightens all the way up, and she'll be like,
We were being followed yesterday. I did not alert you to it because I was not certain who it was, and I did not want to alert Pagan in case she knew about it. So I stayed silent.
Fish says, you remember what I said about how there could be someone out to get you?
I do. And I think I know who it is. That woman was Beliala's height, I believe.
Why would Beliala hide her face?
An excellent question. Deniability, perhaps.
But she's not anywhere. Pagan doesn't know where she is.
Pagan claims she doesn't know where she is.
Pagan acts like she's dead.
When you deal
There was
with faithless people, you must expect deception.
was it faceless or faithless?
Faithless.
Okay, I thought it was faceless, and I was like, bitch, off!
Honestly,
I'm
that would
gonna
have been.
throw hands.
Yeah, really. I'm like, damn, right now? Okay.
The room is secured. Authorities may be on their way.
We'll
We
have to
will
have
re-
the.
And she apologized. She does like realize she interrupted her abbot, and she's like,
Yes, the
We'll have.
meeting must be on hold for the moment.
We'll
We
have
will
to have.
retreat to the hotel.
She doesn't actually interrupt him again. That was just me having bad timing. Once she's done speaking, she's gonna go.
We'll have to have the sanctuary's involvement. They're going to be very concerned about the mortals.
Fine. I will make contact. In the meantime, we retreat to the hotel, we secure it, and we wait. Send
Yes.
overtures to the heretics people. It seems like she was a target as well. Although, misdirection is the realm of heresy. I would not be
Yes.
surprised if this was a trick on their part. We must go.
I.
Did he say let's go and like gesture?
He said we must go.
Okay.
Fish says, how about, since you're not involved with the sanctuary anymore, we make the call?
I believe I will have more pull than you do, but more calls
Miss
can be
Font.
heard.
Miss Font can do it right now, and she'll like gesture at the tap the side of her head.
Then do so. We need to leave. And he just kind of like sweeps an arm, and all of his the necromancers that follow him start to gather up and head out the back door that Elise's people used. The hotel they're in is functionally across the street, but sounds like you gotta walk and talk probably.
Yeah. I think the cops are coming, y'all.
Fish is
Time to scoot.
following along. They take
Cal's
Kekano from wherever Kekano is.
Metal's arms.
Yeah.
Cal's gonna take the robe from off Sarah, and she's gonna say, "You might just want to get out of here."
As you're exiting, she stops and kind of looks at the blood stain from the Elise cultist that was killed, and says, "No, I don't think so."
You might be putting your own life in danger. The
You put yours in
necromancers won't be
danger?
too happy with. It's my job, Sarah.
I meant with the ghost eater. When it was my people.
It was still my job, Sarah.
Well, fine. You don't want my help.
I
I
want
don't
your help.
want you.
Fish.
Sold. I'm staying in.
And Cal at this point is gonna go, "Oh shit, Jamal!"
Oh my god. Where?
Hello?
I think she probably does literally say something like that. I'm just like, "Oh shit!"
But just real quick, cap on that. Fish, like, I don't know, holds out an arm just to be like, I'm on your side, Sarah.
Sarah wraps a arm around your shoulders and kind of pulls you in, kind of like buddy buddy. You
Mm.
can feel her hands are shaking a little bit
Mm.
as you go. Oh shit, Jamal! You see one of the tables off to the side has been destroyed, and you don't remember any of the attacks doing that. As you say, "Oh shit, Jamal," the wood fibers of the broken table kind of like pull apart, and there's this little like
Ooh,
partial wooden cocoon that Jamal's in, and he's like,
dope.
"What happened? Is it over?"
We're fleeing. Are you all right?
Yeah, fleeing. Okay. I am uninjured, I think. Oh. Okay. Okay. Nope, this is fine. This is fine. Sanctuary. You just got to do what Sanctuary does, and right now that is running. Okay. Let's
Cal
go.
helps it. Cal helps him to his feet, but I will say this does not endure. She's like, "Oh, ugh.
Weak.
I knew it was bad, but yikes."
It
Metal
probably
can
occurs
walk.
to you this is the first time he's ever been in a fight ever.
Yeah.
Yeah, Metal's like, I've been there, buddy. And then she's like,
Yeah.
she's walking and talking, calling the sanctuary and telling them whatever she needs to tell them.
Mhm.
How do you report it to the Sanctuary?
Um,
What details do you say? What do you leave out?
I mean, I don't think I need to leave anything out.
Okay.
I think
Full
she's
explanation.
basically in.
Yeah,
What
Cal would
about
also be like, "Go for it. It's fine."
what
Yeah,
about
Just
Elise and
no.
her
That,
relationship with Cal?
Oh, yeah, no, she doesn't say anything about that. But she's just like, hey, we're here at this conference and it got fucked up. So it's going down. Please help?
Okay.
Question mark.
You
We are
got it.
acting as liaisons to a necromancer matter, and there was an attack by an unknown entity, but probably a necromancer.
Yeah.
Nothing about Elise.
definitely a necromancer. Cal
Yeah.
like bursts in.
Yep. Yes, essentially that, yeah.
You get a response from Agent Supervisor Hedge, who
Dang.
basically just says, "Yep, I got it. It seems like we're getting some mortal traffic on the airwaves about shots and some kind of attack. We'll do what we can. And then you start
Yeah.
retreating towards the hotel. Do you go to the hotel the other necromancer's in, or do you go to Elise's hotel, which is upstairs?
I think you guys would see Cal like hesitating at the stairs or something like that. I'm having the same thing of being like, I don't know how to explain my absence, but I also need to check on her.
Yeah, I think Metal is definitely like we should go make sure she's okay, right? Or we can split up if you want.
I don't know how to explain my absence or tardiness to tinnitus.
I'll tell him to fuck off.
Yeah, exactly.
I saw the
Sarah
way
did it.
I saw the way that you stood up straight when he came over. I didn't like that, Denya.
Cal like tries to make a little mean comment under her breath, but she has like no fucking like it like is killed mid sentence. She can't even fucking like muster herself to try and send that back.
Let's go upstairs.
Okay, all of us?
Uh,
What?
Jamal, you'd probably feel safer fleeing with the group.
No, I'd probably feel safer with the necros I know aren't trying to kill me or whatever. I'm sticking with you guys. Let's go upstairs.
All
Yeah,
right, you
thank you.
too, Sarah?
That was Sarah.
oh no, I said Jamal.
Oh, Jamal is just like, I will go liaison with the necromancers, and I will make sure that everything is secure. Do you need me, or do you need me for anything before I leave?
No, not at all.
Okay, I will. I will stay in contact, and I will make excuses to Abbot Tinnitus and the others on your behalf.
Wrong move.
All right. Good luck.
Fish says that out loud, okay?
Yeah, Cal's like looking at Fish like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Jamal shoots a glare at Fish, but there's not a lot of heat in it. He's pretty rattled by what happened.
As he has every right to be. But fish can't not shut their fucking mouth. Fish can't shut their fucking mouth.
Is there blood on any of the robes Fish or Cal is wearing? I know Sarah's had it.
Was there blood on
I don't
Sarah's robe?
think so. You said that there was blood on Sarah's robe.
No, I think she was looking at the blood on the
Oh, the ground?
ground.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Got it. I thought like it was a splatter from somebody.
No, it's just the mustard stain.
Yeah, just the
Yeah.
mustard stain. There was blood on like the walls and the door leading out from the attacker. Might want to sneak back in and collect that or something once the police leave. That might
Cool.
help.
All right. Nope.
But
Then we're good.
in the
We head
meantime,
upstairs.
you head upstairs to find a sort of scene of panic and distress as things are getting sorted and people are running around. Some people are barricading themselves in their room, others are packing their belongings. You go with the flow of the crowd towards where you knew Elise was. And as you get through, you find that the people are thicker as they congregate around Elise. And as you push your way through, you start to hear crying. And you see that Denzel has your nieces and nephew, actually nephews and niece, excuse me, wrapped up in his arms and was holding them off to the side, clearly shielding them from something. And the crying is coming from the children's room.
Cal's
But the
gonna
children
look.
are here and safe.
Cal's going to look. Who has Kekno right now? Is it Metal or Fish?
Fish is holding Pekino.
She's gonna look at Fish and be like, if you wouldn't mind, Kekno and the children are attached to each other. What the fuck was that?
There is a big whoosh that comes out of the children's room, which has the door open.
Cool. Love that. Cal's gonna be like, Cal is having that conversation slowly, and then he cuts off mid-sentence, runs to that room.
Yeah, what the fuck was that? Was diegetic. Fish says,
Yeah.
no, go figure it out. Yes.
Does Metal come with?
Yeah, Metal will go with Cal.
As you run into the children's room, it is transformed in ways you didn't expect. The carpet is now 3 times as long as it was. The wooden floorboards have started to sprout and grow, pulling cracks through the ground as you see Elise kneeling in the blood of Kitty and Lee. Their throats worn out as she sobs and pushes stronger life magic than you can imagine into dead bodies that will never receive it and make use of it.
Cal is going to does not fucking care about like the pulses of magic, steps her way over to the bodies at Elise and just like tries to physically yank her sister back up to standing and away from the bodies.
Give me an athletics check.
Okay.
Metal is just standing in the doorway, like
D&D.
everything is fucked up over here.
You said it was athletics or acrobatics?
Athletics.
Cool. It could be worse. It's a 13.
Okay. She struggles against you. You do manage to pull her away, and she is crying, and she is sobbing, and she is so angry. Why would they do this? Why would they do this? Callie?
Yes.
Callie?
Yes.
This is my kids' room. My fucking kids were going to be in here! This can't go unpunished. No. No. I will kill whoever did this.
She holds her sister. She starts crying.
And as the chaos of this attack fades away, that is where we will end tonight's session.
Woo!
Jeez Louise!
Yep.
Was
Lord.
this not our roll fucking initiative? Is there still something coming up?
That was not a fight. That was an ambush that she wanted to get away from faster and couldn't because you found her and exposed her. So yeah, that was not an actual fight with her.
Okay.
I'm
So to
scared.
answer your question, Mooney, yes,
We're
we still have a
fucked.
fight.
We're fucked.